for an overdose. Overdose. You already know what it is. Overdose. Cody King and overdose.
Worse than employment since 39. Boris Johnson almost died.
Raise a shot to another fucking year. Light that blunt if you high like air. Start that if you don't fucking care. I do drugs, I do drugs, I do drugs.
I do everything I want. I do everything I want. I can do anything I want. I can do anything I want.
I do drugs, I do drugs, I do drugs. I do drugs, I do drugs, I do drugs. When a chicken dinner, I'm gonna eat you up. I'm in the club, I'm gonna have a party, I'm gonna live it up. Take another pill for another shot. Here's another dab. I can never get enough. Need enough so wicked less. Yeah, I'm a dirty ass, grimy line snorter. That's how I keep my motivation. I'll do fine with just a chord. That way can be on top of my zone. I don't need to scatter my thoughts. When I realize lyricals, everything else to me don't matter. Watch your back. I'm a vicious ass rapper.
True,
Fuck the jelly before the peanut butter. Put it back in the cracker, Ritz slapper. I'm a drug blaster. Always doing what I want. Try and stop me, motherfucker. Raise a shot to another fucking year. Light that blunt if you high like air. Snort that line if you don't fucking care. I do drugs, I do drugs, I do drugs.
I do everything I want. I do everything I want. I can do anything I want. I can do anything I want.
I do drugs, I do drugs, I do drugs. I do drugs, I do drugs, I do drugs.
Fire it up like it's a fresh doobie. No, you silly flamers, not the chili day movie. My mind is kinda screwy. Drugs I'm doing, but I don't think that I'm really losing. All of the boozing and shooting has got my mind oozing. These lyrics for you floozies. Don't say you know me. I lost all my homies. They all overdose shit. You ain't in my whole beef.
Where they at?
Just ate a gummy. Now everything is floating. Snort a couple addies. I must keep going. Gotta keep flowing. These drugs take funding. Always steady stunting. Yeah, I'm fucking running.
Raise a shot to another fucking year. Light that blunt if you high like air. Start that line if you don't fucking care.
I don't.
I do drugs, I do drugs, I do drugs.
I do everything I want. I do everything I want.
I can do anything I want. We can do anything we want. I do drugs, I do drugs, I do drugs. Yeah, we do. I do drugs, I do drugs, I do drugs.
Cody King and overdose. Ain't no little pump, bitch. Did a fat ringer while Cody's doing bumps.
Hey,
All day, hit the ground running. Couple beats and bitch, you know we steady buzzing.
yeah. I can do anything I want. 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 I do drugs, I do drugs.
Safety guidelines. The province says these sector-specific measures will help employers prepare their workplaces so they can reopen safely and ensure workers, customers, and the general public are protected. Premier Doug Ford says, quote, "We are allowing certain businesses to reopen under strict guidelines because we are confident they can operate safely and adapt to the current environment," unquote. The list of businesses allowed to reopen includes garden centers and nurseries with curbside pickup and delivery only, lawn care and landscaping, and additional essential construction projects. You can find the full list at 680news.com. I'm Michelle Mackey.
While garden centers are getting the green light from the Premier tomorrow, many operators aren't happy with the Ford government. They can only provide pickup and delivery services, which many of them are permitted to do. Gardening expert Mark Cullen tells the Toronto Star that not allowing them to open their doors is potentially catastrophic for an industry that's already on its heels due to the lockdown. Between March 13th and April 10th, the flower growers estimate have lost $52.5 million in sales. Most flower growers do upwards of 60% of their sales between Easter and Mother's Day, which is coming this Sunday. As the province gets ready to reopen, one epidemiologist is urging caution. 680 Stuart McGinn reports.
The numbers may be growing with more than 17,000 tests being completed as of yesterday, but Ontario is still not where they said they would be by now. Calling out the province on this, an epidemiologist at the University of Ottawa tells the Toronto Star, with only 2% of the province's population having been tested so far, this doesn't line up with the Ford government's plan to do this all safely. Nonetheless, we're hours away from the first, albeit small, list of mostly seasonal businesses opening their doors again.
We have to give people confidence in Ontario that the economy is going to move forward the same way it was before the pandemic hit us.
Over the last few days, we've heard Premier Doug Ford honing in on that hope many of us have for this ending soon, and the numbers continue to support that. 434 new cases were confirmed today, compared to 650 recoveries, which now make up more than 68% of Ontario's cases. But still, the latest numbers also show 40 people died from COVID-19 yesterday. I'm Stuart McGinn.
680 News Time, 10:05. The Prime Minister seems to be throwing some water on the unsubstantiated reports that COVID-19 came from a lab in Wuhan, China. It's a theory that China denies, but Americans reportedly claim global intelligence partners agree with. Karen Sion of City News says the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, won't say whether his government supports this U.S. intelligence assessment.
Asked directly about this on Sunday, Trudeau said Canada continues to work with Five Eyes nations, an intelligence alliance between our country, the US, the UK, Australia, and New Zealand.
We will continue to work with intelligence agencies around the world, not just the Five Eyes, but friends and partners as well. And look
run it off to the Royal Canadian Navy to make it all legal.
People are asking.
This is a result of failures in a Chinese
Yeah, they
lab.
know because Chinese. I was going to say they know because they've made a bunch
Our
of
focus
fucking
remains on how we are working to protect Canadians.
For City News, I'm Karen Seolin.
680 News Time, 10:07. Happening now in Midtown, a power outage is affecting some homes in the area. The affected places include 1107 Avenue Road, 1010 Eglinton Avenue East, 245 Eglinton Avenue East, 1189 Williams, and 98 Dunfield. Crews are reportedly on site performing repairs, and the estimated time for restoration is about 1 in the morning. 680 News Time, 10:07. The
Too
World
bad none
Health
of those people
Organization
know
is
that.
cautioning against proposals for immunity passports for those who recovered from COVID-19. It would allow the
Immunity
COVID recovered
passports.
from freedom to play, work, and travel. While
it's that proof of something that can't be proven.
that such
It's
people will
written down,
develop
it's
an
proof, you know,
antibody
can't be
response,
proven.
giving them some level of protection. They don't know what level of protection or how long it would last. In order to better
So how do they
understand
know that would
we need
work
to
with
improve
influenza?
antibody testing, which gives more accurate mortality rate and a better idea of how close we might be to the holy grail of the herd immunity. As a result,
There's no
antibody
such
tests
thing.
could help
It's a
determine how
theory.
quickly to loosen physical contact restrictions and get back to normal. They could also determine how long immunity might last and the effectiveness of
It's going
proposed
to vary
immunity documents.
by the
Prime
individual.
Minister
It'll
Justin
be
Trudeau
different
announcing
with
today
each
more than
person.
$240 million in funding to boost online healthcare. The federal investment will expand existing online tools for primary care and mental health.
Just take video conferencing. By helping doctors run appointments online, you can stay safe at home while getting care, and our hospitals can stay focused on those who
I
need
don't
it
get my
most.
The
Pilates,
funding will
prick.
also include virtual care for times when you don't need to see a doctor in person. Over $175 million also expected from the government to support Canadian company Absorella for their, quote, very promising research.
That sounds like
Trudeau
a
also says
drag
human
queen drug
trials could
dealer out
begin
of
as
the
soon as July.
late 70s.
680
There you
News
go. Oh, I'm
Time,
gonna go see
10:09.
Absorella.
Meanwhile,
Oh, you got
despite
some
being one
money?
of the hardest hit
No.
countries in the COVID-19 pandemic, Italy is set to begin lifting its 2-month nationwide lockdown, and a new app will be part of it.
On Monday, Italy will take its first step towards relaunching with some 5 million construction and manufacturing workers back on the job. Soon after, an app to help trace those who have been in close contact with infected people will be introduced based on a Bluetooth system with no location data recorded or
Oh,
exchanged.
bullshit.
Italian MP Lia Quattapelle says the app must have parliamentary approval and keep personal
Yeah,
data
because
safe. The
parliamentarians
biggest
are real
challenge
good
is
with
getting at least
technology,
60% of Italians, many of whom are older and not tech savvy, to use it so that it's
Yeah.
effective. Megan Williams, ABC News, Rome.
You say
Sunnybrook
mafioso,
Health
they're not going to
Sciences
use
Center is
fucking that.
developing an alternative to N95 masks. Those masks are in limited supply worldwide. As
All you
680's
have to
Phil
do is leave
Martino
the phone
tells
at
us
home.
it's a modified
Oh, it's
full-face
mandatory,
snorkel
mandatory.
mask.
Yeah, it's right
Dr.
here on the
Brian
phone.
Courtney, a
Leave
cardiologist
it at
at
home.
Sunnybrook, says the snorkel mask part is off the shelf and it is actually used for snorkeling.
Oh, this is
What
dope.
they've done is build an adapter for it that allows them to plug in a disposable respirator.
I'm not high enough to listen to that yet.
I'll show you one time, force you to learn. I'ma show you one time, force you to learn. Then it's over for you clowns and you forfeit your turn. Torture and burn, kill with no remorse or concern. I put your ashes on a mantle and a porcelain urn. Court is adjourned, only bids handed out, no speaking. You better watch your step, cuz no sleeping. Put your goons in a hot whip, slow creeping. Hopping out, blast up the flow deacons. These are cats that blasted for no reason. They ride for the cause, blasted the Mohicans. Blast of a dying breed, you don't wanna die and bleed. You will perish violently if you see the iron squeeze. Time to leave, shit is gonna get mucky. No miracles, you ain't gonna get lucky. It isn't gonna play like that. You gon' stiff and you gon' stay like that. Lay right flat, you gone. Bah, it's a homicide. Family and your mama cry, permanently traumatized. On the grind and the murder rate is on the rise. Only the strong survive. Strong survive, you gone. Bah, it's a homicide. Family and your mama cry, permanently traumatized. On the grind and the murder rate is on the rise. Only the strong survive. Strong survive.
Shift waiting for the rush, keep the 40 tucked, talking about you let the 40 buck nigga story up. Corner iPhone tap, followed home, police watching, 10 drop, pimps hocking, hoes that be street walking. A deep option is to get the beat popping. A peace offering went to saying rest in peace often. Sleep coffin 6 feet, death is a must. Arrested and cuffed, prison ride next is a bus. The road cold, but the paper keep us warm in the night. With North Face bottle ace, but we pouring the light. Tunnel vision, eyes lock, all I see is a dollar. Piece of shit in the mirror, all I see is my father, fuck him. The game got us all twisted in a hurricane. Lost my mind when the crime came and the murders came. To all my niggas getting bread on the grind. There's no bail when you're locked doing federal time.
You gone, bah, it's a homicide. Family and your mama cry, permanently traumatized. On the grind and the murder rate is on the rise. Only the strong survive. Strong survive, you gone, bah, it's a homicide. Family and your mama cry, permanently traumatized. On the grind and the murder rate is on the rise. Only the strong survive. Strong survive.
Any motherfucker to come harder than me and Graham. Used to slam empty the clip until I see him land.
All out, empty the strip, people fleeing rent.
I need a plan, triple beam scale and a key of grams.
Legal James, no options available. Coppers are tailing you, close friends failing you.
Penny ginger ale, a dude cushion a glass jar. Cocaine moving dope faster than NASCAR.
Trying to earn hard, but you crashed in a firestorm. Trying to live the life of a G in a higher form.
My dogs are riding for blood in and blood out. If you ain't down with my team, bitch, get the fuck out.
I take a bullet for my fam, I'm my brother's keeper. It ain't about no music, the struggle's deeper.
Drugs and tweakers searching for the best rock, trap house, T-grams, crack man, next shot.
Gone, bah, it's a homicide. Family and your mama cry, permanently traumatized. On the grind and the murder rate is on the rise. Only the strong survive. Strong survive, you gone, bah, it's a homicide. Family and your mama cry, permanently traumatized. On the grind and the murder rate is on the rise. Only the strong survive. Strong survive.
Damn, son, where'd you find this? Ruckus.
I got so many rhymes flowing through my brain. I wish that it would stop because it's driving me insane. What does it take to be numb? But what some people do it for pleasure, but I do it for fun.
You know my rhymes are a little bit lyrical. I'm like a murderer killer that's coming out just cereal. It's like when you go trick-or-treating and shit, they put candy apples in your mouth, but it's really razors. And they cut you, put you on the ground bleeding, have you going to the hospital while your mama's screaming. Oh, that's right, that's what I said, bitch, because a fucking crazy guy on the corner wanted you instead. You're just a annoying little gangster. You think that you got shit, but you just a prankster. You know your rhymes, you can try and bring that shit, but me and Gang Green, we got it hanging with our kid. You know we wear the green legs round our neck and shit, because that's the way we rap and that's how we down with it. So if you think that you gangsta son, come down to Abbey E and we'll have some fun. I'm number one.
It's 10:15. It feels like 2 in the morning. So everything's been shut down for 4 hours.
I'm number one. I'm number one. I'm number one. I be that numero uno, who you know, that rocks with such grace when he rockin' his flows. I do it for damn show, better than yo. Average cat, spitting these raps just like a gat. When I have to get to twisting it back, twisting your cap, leaving your rap severed cause you're so verbally wet. Matter of fact, your whole squad can't stat to mine. Gang Green with mine so hard to find. Divine, like intervention to save a life. But I'm the damn vision you see late at night like seeing Christ. Ain't saying I'm blasphemous, perverse type of sight. But I'm telling you, damn, I'm so good when rocking the mic. Put me in a cipher and I'll leave every rapper murdered. In your hip-hop circles, I'm one cat you should have heard of. Should have heard of the way that I rock when I do drop it. Able to override any type of syllable out of the floor or any topic. Especially when I tell black rappers stop it. I mean it, I'll make it just drop, pop your optic. Out of your head, out of your brain. I told you before, I'm the one running this rap. I'm number one. I'm number one.
So number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
I'm number one.
Took out my disaster kit.
I'm number one. I pop syllables off for fun. These whack rap cats that think they run shit can get caught in sand traps. I'm clacking the meanest scats, so all these guys can fall flat. I'm laying the tackle like I'm the fucking quarterback without no fucking stacks. Not even a bale of fucking cash. I'm smoked out after the after effects of hash. I'm like the Titan Clash when I fucking get your rhymes beaten and eaten in half. You fucking guys are low class like a fucking cop mustache. And it's about 1:15 noon and I'm out here to fucking slaughter guys in the early afternoon. I'm putting faggots back in the tomb, fucking ripping babies out of their own motherfucking mother's womb. Here to consume the rhymes, I fucking take over the room at times. Number one at concealing strict nines. When I'm coming in, poppity pump pump, make all these faggots in the room chump. Backing it up to the Dr. Doom label, where everyone packs razors and keeps it faded. I'm number one. Yeah, and fuck all you cats out there that think you're good at this rap shit. I'm number one. You can't stack it compared to us, man. Hypnotic, derelict. I'm number one. Vocal X. Y'all motherfuckers don't even know. You don't know shit here. Number one. What? What? Gangsters. La 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 la. You want something? You gotta take it, motherfuckers. Take it, man.
All good things come to those who take time. Balls in my fucking legs.
Why she said it, I'ma get that spinach. I be sinning, I'm winning. They don't like it, yeah, I bet. I see the pain in their heart and their chest. Why she said it, I'ma get that spinach. I be sinning, I'm winning. They don't like it, yeah, I bet. I see the pain in their heart and their chest. I love the rain when it falls, yeah, I'm blessed. Fuck the fame and the cars and the jets. I had him thinking I was gone to the psych ward. I never left to live the life you would die for. Hell, I know I can't save her, I'm no lifeguard. Maybe you can get the D, but I might charge. Pull up to the spot, they're like, who is that there? Hands up, give me the loot like a cashier. What you thought? Are you dumb? I don't play shit. I killed you and your brother with the same clip. For the bullshit you've been talking, boys, ancient. I'm a different man now, leave your faceless. Watch you said it, I'ma get that spinach. I be sinning, I'm winning. They don't like it, yeah, I bet. I see the pain in their heart and their chest. Watch you said it, I'ma get that spinach. I be sinning, I'm winning. They don't like it, yeah, I bet. I see the pain in their heart and their chest. Yo, versus spot, then I'm leaving unidentified. Just a rental, had to drop it off at Enterprise. Shell casings in the whip, had to check it twice. I think my OGs for that shit, they give good advice. Yeah, this is about to be a genocide. These motherfuckers want me dead, but I can never die. I'm the reason why your wife said she met a guy. 2 minutes and I switch it just to get inside. Yeah. We are not the same kind. You gotta pay dues, I already paid twice. Y'all don't make moves, all you do is waste time. I'ma always be woke while you haters stay blind. Watch you said it, I'ma get that spinach. I be sinning, I'm winning. They don't like it, yeah, I bet. I see the pain in their heart and their chest. Watch you said it, I'ma get that spinach. I be sinning, I'm winning. They don't like it, yeah, I bet. I see the pain in their heart and their chest.
Where COVID-19 is on my grocery store receipt, which would be illegal. Refund policy. Okay, what's this? Due to the COVID-19 pandemic and to keep our staff and customers safe, we will not be accepting returns till further notice. Yeah, okay. I did like to, drink some of the milk and then bring it back. And
I
want $500 to keep people running thumbs fucking contest.
The demon is a liar. He would like to confuse us. But he will also mix lies with the truth to attack us. He attacks us psychologically, powerful.
If you don't sell a product called COVID-19, you shouldn't show up on the receipt. And if you do, I want some. This
is real life shit, can't change it for an instant. Blood, sweat, and tears, now everyone's against it. Trying to step in our way, man, your ass will get popped. Got homies on every corner, none afraid to get shot. You hear it drop, here comes the end of your life. Hollow points cutting through you like the edge of a knife. It's getting harder to see, step away from the light. Cause I'm the devil in disguise, I stole your soul tonight. What?
I stole your soul tonight. I'm the devil in disguise, I stole your soul tonight. I stole your soul tonight. I'm the devil in disguise, I stole your soul tonight. I stole your soul tonight. I'm the devil in disguise, I stole your soul tonight. What? Yeah, I stole your soul tonight. Devil in disguise, stole your soul tonight.
As you wake up in the dark and not realizing I'm there, go ahead and reach for the light, you won't find one there. This is the darkness inside, mixed with the pain that you feel. Hear the voices calling out another soul to conceal. You see the tears in the eyes, that's what's causing the pain. Staring at yourself blindly, can't remember the name. Call me whatever you like, but let it be told, I'm the devil in disguise and the possessor of souls.
The possessor of souls, the devil in disguise, yeah, the possessor of souls. The possessor of souls, I'll be the devil in disguise, the possessor of souls. The possessor of souls, I'll be the devil in disguise, the possessor of souls. The possessor of souls, devil in disguise, the possessor of souls.
Feel the pain in your chest, yeah, that's me coming back. Being possessed by the devil is the life that I have. A possessor of souls, another light in the dark. Hear the footsteps in the night, now your ass is in shock. Go ahead and hide, try to make no sound. I know your every thought and action, so you're bound to be found. I'm getting closer, can you feel my presence here? Cause I'm the devil in disguise, the only person you fear.
The only person you fear, I'll be the devil in disguise, the only person you fear. The only person you fear, I'll be the devil in disguise, the only person you fear. The only person you fear would be the devil in disguise. The only person you fear. What? Yeah, the only person you fear. Devil in disguise. The only person you fear. I'm in control of your life. I'm the voice in your pain. I'm the hate in your heart and the sin in your brain. I'm the death of your dreams and the loss of your life. I'm the death of thought, slicing your wrist with a knife. There's no escaping the voice, no turning the time. Your soul is already lost, and I'm making it mine. I'm the devil in disguise. I can take up any form. I'm the feeling of fear when you're feeling alone. Yeah.
I'm the clean spirit of in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. It is He who commands you. He who floods you from heights of heaven to the depths of hell. Fuck him! Fuck him, Karen! And the streets are gone.
Everybody knows what I'm about, and if you don't, then you better get the fuck out. Scream it, shout, blood stains on the carpet, shout it out. I'm the palest motherfucker with sickle cell you're ever gonna fucking see. So maybe don't buy them. I don't know. Like straight out by all. Whatever the fuck I got, it's not straight out. It's not fully out.
We ain't nothing like the mother gods. Fuck with us, you went for a surprise.
I feel like a DJ when I use
Yeah, we rep for the street niggas, man. The voice of the streets, the black top. Yeah, the niggas that be on the soil, on the turf out here, boy. You know what I mean? Hey, we got that military shit, nigga. Bullets by the ton.
But it's funny, like some of they are. It's a civilian rifle. Derived from that, not the other way around.
Nothing on my wrist, nothing on my neck, nothing on my fist, it's all on my check. Don't you get the gist? I got the confidence, don't need a brand on my chest. Hey, I know what my value is. Hey, wealthy people don't need jewelry. Hey, look at 21 Savage and Bill Gates. Hey, the rap industry got a complex. I turned reality into a lucid dream. I turned a lucid dream into whipped cream. Cash rules, nothing around me. I only use it for paper planes, actually. I'm the opposite of Microsoft, I'm big and hard. Let that resonate, maybe a little more. I got that lyricism sprinkled with a lot of flow. I make my sauce authentic on a chopping board. Baby, it's spicy, be careful. Don't check the bottle too much, be gentle. It's kinda high on the Scoville level. Don't burn your tongue, don't get it in your eyes too. I turned reality into a lucid dream. I turned a lucid dream into whipped cream. Cash rules, nothing around me. I only use it for paper planes, actually. Self-care, yeah, got a lot of that. No food tastes good as having a six-pack. You should cut your snacks same way you cut that crack. Then you wouldn't look fat as a Cadillac. Baby, looking like a snack. I can see you did some squats on the squat rack. I don't need a beat, I don't really need a track. You can be my producer with your booty clap. I turned reality into a lucid dream. I turned a lucid dream into whipped cream. Cash rules, nothing around me. I only use it for paper planes, actually. Baby, keep your pants on, zip tight, locked off. This is not the time time for you to rack it up. We be in court, the judge is getting cross. You robbed the bank, baby, you took your mask off. You took $100K and left it at my front door. Thought it was funny, nice joke. Cause you know I bail you out no matter what the cost. I need the flavor, baby, shit, cause I got the sauce. Cause I got the sauce. I said it cause I got the sauce. Shit, cause I got the sauce.
Right now,
Shit, cause I got the sauce.
over at Pearson Airport, 12 degrees. Also partly cloudy. The News Watch never stops. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. Listen 3, 4, even 5 times a day, and you'll always be in the know. 680 News time, 10:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good evening. This is Sunday, May the 3rd. I'm Veronica Thorne. And I'm Madison Fitzpatrick. Here's what's making news this hour.
Some businesses are gearing up to reopen this week under strict public health guidelines as Ontario takes a step closer to restarting the economy.
As Ontario inches towards its small step to reopen some businesses tomorrow, an epidemiologist is circling back to testing, warning the plans in place could still be a recipe for disaster.
A power outage is affecting some areas around Yonge and Eglinton. Details on that coming up.
Yesterday was wet and rainy, and today is gearing up to be the warmest of the year. The city's roller coaster forecast is about to make 2 lucky people a whole lot of money.
The NFL schedule gets released next week, and they expect to start as normal in September. Mitch Trubisky not being extended outside of next year in Chicago, and Andy Dalton has a new home. Sports at 45.
Selling in May could continue tomorrow as U.S. stock futures move lower at the open, and investors are gearing up for first quarter results from Shopify this week. Business at 56.
680 News time, 10:31. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Barb Andrews. This report brought to you by Hire the Gardener. Eastbound 401 through Highway 25. 2 right lanes are closed for construction. Then through Jamestown Parkway, a right lane. Through Morningside and the Express, 2 left lanes. And then through Port Union, the Collector to Express transfers are closed. Westbound 401 through Morningside and the Collectors, 2 left lanes closed. Through Nielsen, the Collector to Express transfers are closed. Through the Allen and the Express, 2 left lanes are closed. Also, the Express and Collector ramps to northbound Allen are closed. Southbound Dufferin ramp to westbound 401 closed. Westbound 401 through Dixie, a right lane is blocked. And the Dixie ramp to the westbound 401, that is also closed. Southbound 400 south of Highway 9, we have 2 left lanes blocked. Through Teston, we have 2 left lanes blocked. And westbound Finch ramp to southbound 400 blocked for construction. Southbound 427 through Radford in the Express, 2 left lanes are closed. And through Bloor and the Collectors, a right lane is closed. Looking at the eastbound QEW through Dixie, we have construction in the left lane. And northbound 427 through Dundas, we have the Express to Collector transfers closed. And then through Ruxdale Dairy Road, we have a left lane blocked. Northbound 400 through Teston, we have 2 left lanes closed. Through King Road, 2 left lanes again. And then northbound 400 north of King Road, we have 2 right lanes closed for construction. For major routes, we are in good shape, but we still have that construction Jarvis and Lakeshore. Jarvis closed both directions. Also, the southbound Jarvis ramp to the Gardner closed. Yes, you can still hire the Gardner to keep your yard green. No, you don't have to come near them. Look at all the things the Gardner can do for your yard at HireTheGardner.com. That's HireTheGardner.com. Your next report at 10:41 with the forecast, Michelle Nelson.
Well, after the short-lived warmth today, we're going to see temperatures continue to fall into the overnight. It's still a great night to get out for a walk. Winds are breezy out of the northwest, but calm conditions. We do have the chance for a few isolated showers through the overnight hours. Your overnight low is 4 degrees. Downtown Toronto right now, 14 degrees. Partly cloudy sky in from Pearson Airport. Similar conditions there at 12. 680 News time, 10:33.
In an effort to get to a new normal, a short list of businesses will start reopening across the province tomorrow. 680's Michelle Mackey joins us with what you need to know, including strict guidelines for the workplaces that are allowed to reopen. The provincial government, in partnership with Ontario's Health and Safety Associations, has developed more than 60 public health guidelines
Were the
Michael
businesses
Breer.
and workplaces allowed to reopen this weekend? Jonathan Allward with the Canadian Federation of
wouldn't feed them.
Independent
We'd let
Business
them have the
says
choice to
as
eat
a
the
result,
bedbugs.
some workplaces are having to adjust.
Some that I've talked to already are looking at new options, possibly extended hours or maybe more flexible hours than what they would have before to make sure that they can get
24/7,
a large number of
motherfucker.
people in
Midnight
while
to sunrise.
still
Come on.
respecting
Do it.
those social distancing practices.
The list of businesses allowed to reopen includes garden centers and nurseries with curbside pickup and delivery only, lawn care and landscaping, and additional essential construction projects. I'm Michelle Mackey.
And the decision to reopen those businesses comes as the province continues to lag behind in testing. 680 Stuart McGinn has more on the discrepancy between where we are for Ontario and where we should be.
It wasn't long ago the province was truly struggling to get the number of daily tests above 10,000, but now that they've fallen short of another goal to, at this point, be performing at least 19,000 tests a day.
I think we're going to be keeping this number up fairly high over the days ahead.
Despite the optimism from Ontario health officials, and epidemiologist says testing still isn't close to where it should be for the province to consider reopening, telling the Toronto Star this all could be a recipe for disaster. Nonetheless, the slow step-by-step plan for the province gets going tomorrow, in line with many other provinces who are allowing select businesses to reopen. Meanwhile, the numbers continue to trend in the right direction. From more than 17,000 tests completed yesterday, there were 434 new cases and 40 deaths, but also 650 recoveries, which in total now represent more than 68% of the province's case count. I'm Stuart McGinn.
Stupid motherfucker.
The federal government is
434 new cases.
investing millions to bring healthcare online. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said Sunday he understands the stress caused by orders to stay inside and the shutdown of businesses across the country.
And where the fuck were they the last 14 days?
Video chats to stay in touch
Where the
with
fuck are
family.
those people
We
going to
can
be
use
the
new
next 14
technology
days?
to keep each other healthy.
Ottawa will spend $240 million for virtual health care services, including primary care for patients who don't need to visit a doctor's office, and mental health. One survey recently released by Mental Health Research Canada found the number of Canadians expressing high to extreme levels of anxiety has quadrupled since the start of the COVID-19 crisis.
And if you're part of a marginalized community and you need specialized tools, well, there'll be specific help for you as well.
As part of Sunday's announcements, the government also unveiled the creation of a COVID-19 Supply Council. It will focus on keeping Canada stocked with critical medical supplies and protective equipment throughout the pandemic. For City News, I'm Karen Seelman.
Meantime, the Prime Minister says his government plans to move ahead with legislation letting municipalities ban handguns within their borders, though he isn't giving a timeline. It comes just days after the Trudeau government announced it was outlawing a wide range of assault-style rifles, saying the guns were designed for the battlefield and not for sport hunting or shooting. But that prompted criticism from Ontario Premier Doug Ford, who said yesterday we should be strengthening existing laws, not targeting legal gun owners.
To me, that's the disturbing part. Like, what are you thinking of when you use these guns?
They get charged, and what's frustrating, the police officers, they're back on the streets in a few days.
Trudeau says the government will also be looking to crack down on gun smuggling at the border.
Yeah, what gun
680 News Time, 10:37. Happening now in the Yonge and Eglinton area. A power outage has left some homes in the dark. Some of the affected places include 1107 Avenue Road, 1010 Eglinton Avenue East, 245 Eglinton Avenue East, and 98 Dunfield, and 11 and 89 Williams. Toronto Hydro crews are on site making repairs, but they say the estimated time of getting the power back on is around 1 in the morning.
None of these big expensive buildings has backup generators,
House
really.
and parking lot parties are becoming problematic for the city of Brampton. By the end of April, bylaw officers had conducted 4,584 inspections, issued 195 warnings, and laid 30 more charges and fines in the previous 7 days. The first fine issued under the city's COVID-19 bylaw was for a house party involving 20 people on the very first day the legislation was enacted, and there have been several more prohibited social gatherings, resulting in fines since then. Some infractions have led to court summons, and a judge can issue a fine of up to $100,000 for violating laws enacted under the Ontario Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act.
680 News telling 1038, a Toronto cooking school owner who had to shut down her business because of COVID-19 is now putting her vacant kitchen to good use. 680's Bill Martino with more. Lisa Dickey, head of Dickey's Cooking School in Toronto's East End, is using her kitchen to make everything from pies to pasta sauce for the Eastview Neighborhood Community Center's new emergency food bank.
And these days, I guess you probably doesn't have to put pants on. Because you don't ship by video now.
My community,
She
says it's like the perfect fit. I have the time.
They call it video rematch for
to
fucking
do
hands.
something, and it allows me to do something and feel like I'm giving people an alternative to the usual goods that you eat that are offered at a food bank, which is like non-perishables, right?
Dickey will also be using her cooking and baking skills to make meals for Wood Green Community Services, one of the largest social service agencies in Toronto. I'm Phil Martino.
Less than $5.
680 News Time, 10:39. Weather's our specialty here at 680 News, but sometimes even we don't get it right. 680's Eden DeBeva has more on some of the big prizes up for grabs this week. 680 News may be Toronto's most frequent traffic and weather station, but even we couldn't have guessed how nice the weather this week would be. And because of that, two people are going to be getting a major payday. At 7:21 tomorrow morning, after traffic and weather, we'll be giving away $22,800. And at 7:21 on Tuesday, another $1,300 will be up for grabs. I'm Eden DeBeva.
This is your breaking news station, 680 News.
Now, the 680 News gas price update and process. The price is not expected to budge at midnight. It'll be holding at 85.9 cents a litre at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather together next. 680 News time, 10:40.
I'm David St. Jacques. As an astronaut, I know what it's like to be isolated, away from friends and family. It's hard, but it's what we all need to do for each other. Even if you're not feeling sick, you can still get infected with COVID-19 and pass it to others. Your actions can protect your loved ones. Stay home. Save lives. Visit Canada.ca/coronavirus regularly for the latest instructions on how you can help stop this pandemic.
A message from the Government of Canada.
680 News time, 10:41. It's time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Traffic first with Barb Andrews. And this report is brought to you by Aura Freedom. Lots of construction on our major routes this evening. Eastbound 401 through Highway 25. We have 2 right lanes closed. Through James Snow Parkway, a right lane. Through Morningside and the Express, 2 left lanes. Through Port Union, the Collector to Express transfers are closed. Westbound 401 through Morningside and the Collector's 2 left lanes. Through Nielsen, the Collector to Express transfers are closed. Through the Allen and the Express, 2 left lanes. Also, the westbound 401 ramps from the Express and Collectors access to northbound Allen, that is closed. Northbound Allen ramp to westbound 401 Collectors closed. Southbound Dufferin ramp to westbound 401 Collectors are closed. And then through Dixie, we have a right lane closed, and also the Dixie ramp to the westbound 401 is closed. Traveling along the southbound 400 south of Highway 9, 2 left lanes. Through Teston, another 2 left lanes. And the westbound Finch ramp to southbound 400 is closed. Southbound 427 through Rathburn in the Express, 2 left lanes. Through Bloor and the Collectors, we have a right lane. Looking at the eastbound QEW through Dixie, we have a left lane closed for construction. Northbound 427 through Dundas, Express to Collector transfers are closed. And then through Derry, we do have a left lane blocked. Northbound 400 through Teston, 2 left lanes. Through King Road, 2 left lanes. And then north of King Road, we have 2 right lanes. And off of our major routes, Jarvis closed at Lakeshore, and the southbound Jarvis ramp to the Gardner closed for construction. Women and children are experiencing increased violence while isolated at home during the lockdown. Aura Freedom supports women's shelters and drop-in centers still operating. Donate at aurafreedom.org. Your next report at 10:51 with the forecast. Michelle Nelson.
Great conditions tonight to get out for a walk. We are going to see partly cloudy skies and temperatures slowly falling. Northwesterly winds gusting to 40 kilometers per hour, so still pretty breezy out there. But unfortunately, the warmth that we've seen today isn't going to stick around, dropping below seasonal for this week. Tonight, your low will be 4. It's going to be a chilly morning in the GTA with some cloud cover and then sunshine into the afternoon. We're looking at a daytime high of only 11 degrees. Your overnight low is 4.
And right now in downtown Toronto, we're sitting at 13 degrees with a partly cloudy sky. Similar conditions at Pearson Airport and 12 degrees. 680 News time, 10:43.
Hi. Tom Rokiki here of Inline Fiberglass Windows and Doors. I am proud to be living and working here in the Greater Toronto area. All of us are so lucky and blessed to be part of this strong community, province, and country. At this time, I feel it is important to remind all our friends, family, and employees to keep an eye on one another, especially the most vulnerable. Let's also come together in support of the heroes on the front lines. Together, we will get through this. Thank you.
A message from the Warhams. When you use the Warham key tags, you protect your keys. If you lose your keys, the finder can call the number on the back of the tag. Or drop
If I lose my keys means I want you to fucking melt them down so nobody ever finds out where they came from.
For free. Order your key tags
You gotta be
today at
gangster with it, kid.
Warhams.ca and make a difference in
Looks
the
like I
lives
help
of
you. Look at you.
amputees.
You missed parts.
Thank
Make sure you use to source some more spare parts. You're gonna have to play harder.
This is All News Radio.
Help you to get their keys back. No, you don't.
It's
Fuck 'em.
13
You keep the
degrees
keys.
and
You
partly
find out what
cloudy
the
in
fuck.
downtown
Fucking
Toronto.
robbing
Good
them
evening
blind.
from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Veronica
That
Thor.
is that
Here are the top
one
stories
nigga
this
fucking
hour.
robbery.
A short list of businesses will start reopening their doors
There's a
across
fucking
Ontario
text
tomorrow.
message
The
in jail. Just
provincial
start
government
crying.
and health and safety associations developing more than 60 public health guidelines for the workplaces. A power outage is affecting some homes in the Young and Eglinton area this hour. Toronto Hydro says crews are on site making repairs. Power expected to be turned back on at around 1 in the morning. And the Lucky 680 News
You know exactly what we'll have it done.
$22,800
Not now.
for tomorrow. Lucky them, since we missed the weather guarantee last Tuesday, but we also missed the guarantee yesterday. So another
You still
member
didn't
will be
explain
taking
what happened to the money guy. You said you couldn't find him.
Make sure you
You
listen
haven't
each
mentioned
of
him
those days at
since.
7:21 in the morning after traffic and
You
weather.
found him
to
and
see
he's
if you
gone
win
with the
them. You
money.
can still sign up, but head over quickly to 680news.com/contests. 680 News Time, 10:45.
Oh my god. There's a fucking holes
Now
in my
time for
fucking
680
legs.
Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here's Colin Teskey.
Former Bengals quarterback Andy Dalton now joins the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas signing Dalton to a 1-year, $7 million deal, and $3 million of that deal is guaranteed, while the Chicago Bears will not pick up the 5th-year option for quarterback Mitch Trubisky. The number 2 overall pick will likely test free agency after season's end and is set to battle with Nick Foles for the starting role in Chicago after Foles came over in an off-season trade from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meantime, the NFL plans to start on schedule in September and run the full 17-week sched, and that will be announced next week, and there could be contingency plans in place in case they do encounter any roadblocks. And NHL teams continue to prepare for a possible season at a later date, and the NHL draft lottery is going to be altered due to the regular season getting canceled due to COVID. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 10:46.
Weather forecast you can bank on because if you're up by more than 3 degrees,
You can win our growing cash jackpot. The 680 News Weather Guarantee. Enter online at 680news.com.
DeWalt's 20-volt max brushless outdoor power tools are what you need to maintain your yard this summer. Get powerful performance and extended runtime with the 3-in-1 cordless lawnmower that uses 2 DeWalt 20-volt max batteries. Trim heavy grass and weeds with the 14-inch string trimmer. Power through branches with the pole edge trimmer steel laser cut blades. And easily clear debris with the handheld blower with directional control. Find out more about DeWalt 20-volt max outdoor tools at DeWalt.ca.
At BDO Debt Solutions, they know that life is full of unexpected events that can weaken your financial well-being. Many people who come to BDO for help had to go through tough times and take on debt in order to survive. If you're experiencing difficulty, a BDO licensed insolvency trustee can provide a free initial consultation and offer you services over the phone to explain all your debt relief options and help you find a solution that works for you and your family. Call 1-855-BDO-DEBT to book a free over-the-phone consultation.
Ontario is expecting to reopen some businesses tomorrow, but a retired firefighter who spent nearly a month in a Winnipeg hospital with COVID-19 says people need to remain vigilant.
It pays for it, so we won't be charged.
Rick Sturzer tested positive after returning from what he calls a hellish journey on a cruise ship packed with infected passengers. 65-year-old praises healthcare staff for helping him get through.
Because he's getting paid by somebody else, specifically.
I can't describe it to you how they kept me going. So it was wonderful, wonderful to see it.
As Manitoba prepares to lift some restrictions and reopen the economy, Sturzer says his story shows why it's important people continue to take precautions. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jerry Smith.
Meantime, stateside, several U.S. airlines are announcing new safety requirements for passengers in response to the pandemic. ABC's Stephanie Ramos has more.
Airlines are preparing to enforce ways to keep passengers safe. Delta, United, and JetBlue will require face masks in flight. Southwest and American Airlines will require masks starting May 11th. All major U.S. airlines have now blocked some or all middle seats.
I got a bad habit of making
Some
eye
airlines
contact
say
with
they'll
people.
actually supply travelers with masks.
They'll know that I would
Scientists
know.
have many sophisticated tools at their disposal, but sometimes the pursuit of answers requires an old-school approach. As 680's Curtis Doring reports, a long-standing mystery about life in the Bronze Age might have been solved using armed combat.
You can probably guess how the Bronze Age gets its name. The period of civilization, which in Europe lasted roughly between 3200 and 600 BC, is marked by the use of bronze tools forged by mixing copper, tin, and various other metals. While it was cutting-edge technology at the time, by modern standards, bronze weapons kind of suck. They're soft, they damage easily, and they're hard to repair. That's why archaeologists thought the swords found alongside ancient remains were only ceremonial and not used for actual fighting. But to find out for sure, scientists in the UK and Germany commissioned 7 bronze swords from a traditional bronzesmith and recruited members of a local club dedicated to medieval combat. Then, using their best approximation of combat techniques at the time, they choreographed a series of battles. In the end, what they found was the dents and divots on the new swords more or less lined up with those dug up from ancient burial plots. It's empirical evidence that yes, bronze swords could have been used as weapons of war, but only if the combatants knew what they were doing. With this weekend's events, I'm Curtis Doring.
But the AR-15 is so magical, it kills everybody. It picks out all the fucking good people for you.
About what you need to know about COVID-19. We received a lot of questions about unemployment, including what is available from the government if you've been laid off as a result of the virus.
By the way,
For that answer, we went to 680's employment law
people run around
specialist,
with not one, but 2 fucking swords.
Basic employment insurance, which
And axes
still
and
exists,
shit
of
that
course.
cops can't find.
And if you've lost
Not
your
gonna
job,
choose
if you're
me,
not
another
working, if you
motherfucker.
don't have an income, then you will be entitled to employment insurance benefits as long as you meet the qualifying criteria. What's nice is that they've also added the CERB, the Canada Emergency Response Benefits,
Hey, don't call
which
him
is
the
intended
CERB,
to
he's
fill
our
a lot
buddy.
of the gaps, such as people who are self-employed won't get PI. People who don't have enough insurable hours. Let's say that you were off on a pregnancy or parental leave, you just came back 2 months ago, you haven't built up enough hours yet, and now you've been laid off because of COVID-19. CERB would help you in those situations. So those are the 2 primary things.
If you have any questions about COVID-19, you can get your questions answered as well by sending us a direct message on Instagram, or you can always call the 680 News listener line at 416-872-6800. 680 News Time, 10:51. Time for traffic and weather. Together on the ones, here's Barb Andrews.
This report is brought to you by AGMRenovations.com. Lots of construction this evening. Eastbound 401 through Highway 25, 2 right lanes. Through Jamestown Parkway, a right lane. Through Morningside in the Express, 2 left lanes. And through Port Union, Collector Express transfers are closed. Westbound 401 through Morningside, Collectors, 2 left lanes. Through Nielsen, Collector to Express transfers are closed. Through the Allen in the Express, 2 left lanes are closed. Also westbound 401 Express and Collector access to the northbound Allen is closed. Northbound Allen ramp to westbound 401 Collectors are closed. Southbound Dufferin ramp to westbound 401 is closed. Through Dixie, we have a right lane blocked, and westbound 401 through Huron, Ontario, and the Express a right lane closed for construction. Southbound 400 south of 9, 2 left lanes. Through Teston, we have 2 left lanes, and the ramp from westbound Finch to southbound 400 is closed. Southbound 427 through Rathburn in the Express, we have a couple of left lanes blocked for construction. construction. Eastbound QEW through Dixie left lane with construction. Northbound 427 through Dundas Express to Collector transfers are closed. And then through Rexdale Dairy Road, we have a left lane blocked. Northbound 400 through Keston, 2 left lanes. Through King Road, 2 left lanes. And then north of King Road at the truck inspection station, we have 2 right lanes closed for construction. And off our major roads, Lakeshore closed at Jarvis closed at the Lakeshore. And southbound Jarvis ramp to Gardner closed for construction. Working from home on the couch with kids? Turn your basement into a home office suite from $490 a month. Visit agmbasements.com. Your next report at 11:01 with the forecast, Michelle Nelson.
Well, after feeling the warmth today and seeing that beautiful sunshine, temperatures are going to take a dip into the week ahead. Tonight, partly cloudy with some cool northwesterly winds. Still a great night to get out for a walk, but we will drop overnight to 4 degrees. We have the chance of some spotty showers, and it's going to be a cloudy and cool morning. Starting off at 4, but then we'll warm up to about 11 degrees. That is below seasonal. Seasonal for this time of year is 17. And we'll see cooler temperatures for the week ahead, even as we head towards Mother's Day weekend. The good news is we do have some sunshine on the way, and it's mostly going to be dry. Your overnight low is 4 degrees.
And right now in downtown Toronto, partly cloudy and 13 degrees, and similar conditions at Pearson Airport with 12 degrees.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Dynamic Funds. Research shows that investors who work with an advisor accumulate 3.9 times more assets than those who don't. Advice matters now more than ever. Learn more at dynamic.ca/advice.
Coming up at 11 o'clock, the latest on the guidelines for the short list of businesses that will be reopening tomorrow. Our reporter Michelle Mackey will have everything you need to know at the top of the hour. 680 News Time, 10:55.
Outside of sight, out of mind.
I'm Sean O'Brien, President and CEO of Reliance Home Comfort. Despite everything that's going on, we know that some of you may still need air conditioning, hot water, or plumbing help. I'd like to personally assure you that as an essential service, we're not only here for you 24 hours a day, every day, but also taking steps to make every visit safe for you, your family, and our team. We're grateful to our customers and indebted to our team members at Reliance. We'll get through this together. Thank you.
When you need to know. Breaking news. Here's how the 2020 budget will affect your family's bottom line. Traffic. Just over the DVP and Lakeshore Gallery issues with the traffic lights.
North of that, freezing rain overnight. South of that, it's going to remain as just rain.
When you need to know.
We're here.
This is 680 News.
At Tim Hortons, we're proud to serve all of our communities across Canada. And we're thinking about you. That's why we've made some changes recently. So for
You're thinking about me? Stop thinking about me. Think about making some fucking coffee.
Tim Hortons.
Oh, I got
serving
coffee.
our communities.
Now's your
I'm thinking no more coffee for like the next 8 fucking hours.
With 17 Golden Globes and a whopping 75 Emmys, FX is home to the most innovative must-see programs. And this spring will be better than ever as Kate Blanchett leads an all-star cast in the highly anticipated new drama, Mrs. America. Watch this and other new series like Dave and Dabs today, only in FX. Available on Rogers, Bell 5, Cogeco, and Videotron.
680 News Time, 10:56. Now time for the 680 News Business Report.
No business. Close. Shut down.
Analysts say investors are weighing efforts by U.S. states to reopen their economies and tension between the U.S. and China. Dow futures fell 1.5% at one point, a loss of 351 points. S&P and NASDAQ futures also lost more than 1%. And Wall Street is coming off back-to-back weekly losses, down at least 0.2% for the week. And analysts do believe that futures are moving with oil. In electronic trade, it fell more than 8% as it comes off a weekly gain of more than 16%. As for gold and electronic trade, it was higher by more than 0.5%.
People
as the precious metal comes off a weekly loss of 2%.
Nobody knows what shit should really cost.
As for the TSX, it finished the week higher by more than 1.3%. It was down 1% on Friday, though, a loss of 160 points to 14,620.
By the time we figure out how to stop doing that,
Canada and the U.S. are gearing up for a historic Jobs Friday. Bloomberg is reporting that the U.S. could be in for a drop of 21 million in April, the most in records dating back to 1939. As for the unemployment rate, it can surge more than 16%, the highest in monthly data dating back to 1948. Now here at home, some forecasts believe job losses for last month could be around 3 million, possibly more. Canadian dollar on Friday fell 73 1/100 of a cent, closing at 70.98 cents U.S.
And progress on coronavirus treatment remains a focus for investors this week. The CEO of Gilead Sciences announced today that it has donated its entire supply of its coronavirus-fighting drug to the U.S. government, and it expects it to be in the hands of healthcare professionals as early as this week. As well, first quarter results are on the way from Shopify this Wednesday, and analysts continue to note that the e-commerce company has been on a tear this year, up more than 30 times the estimates some had for 2020. At the close on Bay Friday, it fell by 2.2% to $863.14. At the Business Center, I'm Carl Garnish.
We all love well-groomed lawns, but did you know they're harmful to pollinators? By naturalizing our grass-covered landscapes, we can help declining bee and butterfly populations recover. So invite life back into our yards. Make gardens beautiful and beneficial by adding native plants. Encourage your municipality to do the same. Mowing less and
I'm not even going to try to my municipality fucking answer a telephone.
Join the Canadian Wildlife Federation and say, grow it, don't mow it. Together, we can be part of
grow
positive
it,
change
man,
for
don't mow
pollinators.
it.
Learn more at helpthepollinators.ca.
I'm not learning to cut my own hair. I refuse. It's not happening.
This is the least amount of we've encountered recording a song so far.
Coming up the ward, I'm a tough motherfucker. Slumming with the sword, I'm a rough motherfucker.
Slumming with the sword, you only brought one. What you fucking bought for, you better.
You should see us go to work. Watch me hit him where it hurts. Watch me fucking hit him first. Watch me put him in the hearse. Drinking blood and quench my thirst. Catch a charge with every verse. This who cheated kinda cursed. FTP across my shirt. Yeah, fuck the population. Fuck your life and occupation. I'ma watch you run away. It look like immigration.
Same grubby sweater since high school. Drugs out the vial, I'm vile, homo screens and vials. Survival of the fittest, I'm a walking pandemic. Try to take on me and do the jogging man with it. What's a champion scene without some sadness up in it? I know the world is ours, I'm just having a minute. Another dead man walking with a casket is in it. It's either a bucket or a habit I'm kicking. Conscience roll caller, is it cast in auditions? If you notice I ain't present, it's cause the past isn't finished.
Coming for the throat of anyone that is my enemy. Listen, little bitch, this is not what I pretend to be. Send an army, send your troops, send them in with camo suits. Come and catch me, make me pay. Word boy till my dying day. Word boy till my dying day. Word boy being sealed away. Word boy after I decay. I'm a fucking misfit with this fucking wrist slit. Hit you with my fist, bitch. Bring it red like Christmas. Death is on my wish list.
The headphones ain't tangled and it's lost. Funk ass AirPods, if they ain't listening, it's their loss. No cat, no strings attached, fucking weird floss. Down Jones crash, how we share flaws. Skip the empathy and my epitaph. Epithet, y'all my nemesis. Yeah, I said that with emphasis. Ain't no common ground or no common sense. Fuck your comments, that's the consequence when you on the fence. Killing will, all my head is feral, I can't call them off. I can't call it dog. Shit, I'm probably wrong. Stay lifted and twisted like a fucking polygon. If you're feeling froggy, get knocked back to a polywall.
Straight the black dove, so don't push no more. When it comes to push and shove, I'll put you through the
Stoppable concentrated apple juice. I don't know precisely where the machine is that puts it into the cans, but it's not far from where the apples are. So the Mexicans, you heard them say, got special exemptions to come across the border to pick fruit stuff. Well, some of that fruit's apples. They're throwing it into some type of trailer or something with a tractor pulling it, going straight to the place that puts it in here, and that's it. There's no going to some fucking place with a computerized machine to fucking concentrate it and boil it and bring it. And what I don't understand, you're bringing it literally into the city and then what? Adding the tap water here? That's disgusting. Use your local tap water, and I wouldn't because I can get this. Oh, value-added processes. Yeah, value-added processes that add taxes and all sorts of bullshit over there. Fuck that. Yeah, I'd spend more on this, and the Mexicans make money. Yes, that's how I think, man. Oh, what do? They spend money, just like everybody else does. Borders closed unless you pick fruit. Then we need you badly.
Someone come and catch some smoke. I swear you'll be the one that
why filter shitty water from the lake that we dump sewage into? This is rainwater filtered by a tree going directly to the apple. No fucking filter. Why would you
pretend? Cut them up with just a pen. I'm something you can't comprehend. Against me you cannot defend. Pain and fear you can't prevent. I'll make sure you feel suspense. Put you under the cement. Put you in the ground for talking down to a nihilist. Taking all these chemicals, I feel like I'm a scientist. Breaking my appliances. Anger with the sciences. That is what my style is. And evil is my stylist.
How you smoking Percy's and slipjacks on the lighter thief? If you like the green shit, go full circle like a reef. Ain't scary. Mixing Katy Perry, St. Jerry, aviary. Down low, watch me blow. Blackberry, evolution theory of the Jacob theory. The pen should make the paper move. Both are stationary. Can't sleep in my bed since you was up there. Got me fucked up, choosing tough love for the sick. Basic ass living for a heart that's acidic. How am I supposed to judge if everyone's a critic?
Motherfucker. Oh, shit.
Family and a representative from the hospital. Adalia Schweitzer's 69-year-old father has a rare disease called multiple systems atrophy. Don't listen, think, and feel, but he can't walk, he can talk, or move his body. Unfortunately now, for 23 hours a day, he has nothing to listen to or do. For 4 months, he was a patient at North York General Hospital. And after the pandemic restricted hospitals from allowing visitors, Adalia's mother was able to remotely control her father's tablet. He was transferred to Toronto Grace Health Centre last week, where he is permitted to use his tablet, but for just 1 hour a day with staff controlling it. The hospital says allowing someone to remotely control the device would breach privacy policies.
But you controlling it for him doesn't? That doesn't make any fucking sense. What are you doing to that old man's device?
A spokesperson
They're all fucking control freaks because they didn't pass nothing more than a high school
autonomous
course.
corporation, so they can't comment specifically
I'm a personal sport worker.
but they
If you
do add
pass
that
high school,
hospitals
shut
and
up.
staff are expected to act reasonably to support patients during this unprecedented time. For City News, I'm Tina Yazdani.
6 City News time, 11:06. There have been unsubstantiated reports that COVID-19 is a man-made catastrophe and was linked from a Chinese
I
lab.
think
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says Canada will work with its allies to get answers around the spread of the novel coronavirus, but the immediate focus is on helping Canadians through the pandemic.
While this is happening, our focus needs to be on what is happening and how we help it. There will be much time in the coming weeks and months for reflecting on how it happened and how we can prevent it in the future. But for now, my focus is on how we
teach people to cook meat properly. Give them the infrared thermometers for the meat
Scientists
cooking.
have said the origin of the pandemic was likely
now.
natural, but U.S. President Donald Trump has suggested the virus could have been created in a lab in China and was either accidentally or intentionally released into the world. Meantime, Prime Minister Trudeau acknowledging that the federal government has more work to do when it comes to guns. On Friday, the Trudeau government banned a wide range of assault-style rifles. The PM said today his government plans to move ahead with legislation letting municipalities ban handguns within their borders when Parliament allows it. Parliament is sitting in person only 1 day a week and holding virtual sessions twice a week because of COVID-19. You're listening to All News Radio. Companies in the tourism industry are making changes they hope will bring back revenue lost to COVID-19. A record $1.5 billion global tourists stayed overnight at their destination in 2019. But that number is expected to drop 30% this year, according to the United Nations World Tourism Organization. Airlines have grounded nearly two-thirds of their planes. Cruise ships remain docked, and an estimated 8 million Americans are laid off or furloughed in the industry. But last week, Hilton and Marriott announced a new cleaning procedures worldwide. Universal Studios says it's working on spacing riders apart, and Wynn Resorts is thinking about sanitizing dice between users. Yudi Han, ABC News. 680 News Time, 11:08.
You had lots of money. You kind of don't care about getting the germs from the other people for the
Areas
other
in and
money.
around Young and Eglinton. Places affected by the outage include 1107 Avenue
I think I
Road,
put money in my
1010
mouth twice
Eglinton
in my
Avenue
life.
East, 245 Eglinton Avenue
And you
East,
possibly
98
take it out almost
Dunfield,
immediately.
and 11 and 89 Williams. Toronto Hydro says crews are on site making repairs, but say the estimated time for getting the power turned back on is around 1 in the morning. 680 News Time, 11:09. The sweet smell of spring is in the air this weekend as we're into warmer weather. But how does the forecast look for the rest of the month? 680's Carrie Prunskis is finding out. Meteorologist Natasha Ramsahai is keeping a close eye on the jet stream and says don't get used to the milder temperatures just yet.
We're going to be watching to see how this jet stream pattern evolves over the next week or two. But for now, it does look like it's going to be a cool start to the month and drier than average as well.
So if you're eager to get planting in the garden, hold off.
There is a good reason why we say don't plant anything until after the May 2-4 weekend. It looks like we are going to have some cool nights here ahead of us, especially for the first couple of weeks of May. Overnight lows and morning temperatures could be hovering right around that freezing mark at times.
But Ramsahai says there's a good chance we'll break out of that cooler trend by mid-month, giving way for warmer weather for the second half of May. I'll take it. Carrie Prunskis, 680 News.
You got no I hate that
I'll take
expression
it
of the
too.
weather.
And speaking of the weather, we've done it again. We missed the weather guarantee, but this time we did it twice. Last Tuesday we were off by more than 3 degrees on our guaranteed high, which means one lucky insider member will be taking home $22,800 from that jackpot. Make sure you're listening at 7:21 after traffic and weather on Monday as the morning show announces that lucky winner's name, and then at 7:21 on Tuesday morning. Another jackpot payout of $1,300 will be up for grabs as we also missed the guarantee yesterday. If you want to sign up to win, make sure you head over to 680news.com
Just keep fucking everything out and costing tens of thousands of dollars.
COVID-19.
News you need to know.
And what happens next? You'll always hear the latest on 680 News.
Now, the 680 News gas price update. Enpro says the price is not expected to change at midnight, holding at 85.9 cents a liter at most GTA stations. 680 News Time, 11:10.
Hi, I'm Cherry Tabb, co-founder of the Herzig Eye Institute.
Every time someone plays, I notice my actions, everything is connected to the song. Yeah, it's weird.
What are you talking to me? Look at the friends on the team. I got no time for a tease. Money is all that I breathe. I got my tricks on my sleeve. My bitch a bit of a breeze. I just came out of the womb. Need to be speaking my truth. You never stepped in my shoes. I'm pulling up in a few. Niggas don't know what to do. I'm taking all of the loot. Whoa, I got my fam from the bay. We can be sipping all day. I got their blood in my veins. I got more gold on my chain. Nigga, I'm going insane. I'm taking all of the hate. I disappear like a ghost. I keep my ducks in a row. I keep that bitch on her toes. Whoa, when you step into my zone, give me a hit on my phone. I get it all for the low. Pull up on your block, rollin' please, yo. Chillin' with the homies makes it easier. I can sip on 40s, I can sip on this all night. I can sip on 40s, I can sip on this all night. Pull up on your block, rollin' please, yo. Chillin' with the homies makes it easier. I can sip on 40s, I can sip on this all night. Hey, I can sip on 40s, I can sip on this all night. All night. What are you talking to me? Look at the price on the jeans. I I got no time for a tease. No time for a tease. Money is all that I read. Take my tricks in my sleeve. My bitch a bit of a freak. I just came out of the womb. Need to be speaking my truth. You never stepped in my shoes. Yo, I'm pulling up in a few. Niggas don't know what to do. I'm taking all of the loot. Whoa, taking it.
$18 on both sides. Man, it's easy on the mic with you now, man. Straight to your heart. You know what we do to that?
What the fuck it is, nigga?
Let me see your eyes.
Grinding, that's the motto. We live by for timing. Playing games, we got no time. Grind till our stacks so high. Right. For all the niggas who are close by, if you ain't down to please stay on the Lord's side. Big gun, eagle eye, that'll get your soul fried. Grind. That's the motto we live by. Right. Tell all of your folks
how these niggas act sick like my niggas won't air you or talk tough till you see me creeping in your rear view. So I dare you, if it's me you wanna harm G, shots make your heart stop, I'm out in the heartbeat. Always on my feet cause niggas snake for the right price. So in these dark streets I keep it close like a nightlight. When I let it go they taking off like a race. Niggas always rap, why you think this mask on my face? Why you think I'm on this block making cash different ways? Nipping to these heads with shots pushing back your waves. Your mom catching grades when my niggas sit and laugh. But it's a straight face when I stick them for the stash. Yo, cause John knows I got some stacks at my base. But I'm still robbing niggas like I'm flat on my face. Still shooting shots, no shoes, get them laced. Do the same dirty, get away with no trace.
Grinding, that's the motto we live by for timing. Playing games, we got no time. Grind till our stacks so high. Right. For all the niggas who are close by, if you ain't down to please stay on the Lord's side. Big gun, eagle eye, that'll get your soul fried. Grind. That's the motto we live by. Right. Tell all of your close sides. Yo, I'll ride out for the close ones. Crunch time, do time for the close ones. When it comes down in the long run, you niggas broke, I'm the man with the long gun. You're fucking with the wrong one. If my niggas broke, I'ma break. I'ma get you smoked out like a dope head. Nigga OD from this chrome lead. You owe me, pay me, or I flip things. Anything I find is mine, then I'm a jack. Certain niggas shouldn't chip, better off with a check. Certain niggas shouldn't grip, freeze when they see feds. Freeze when they see goons. But it's nothing like the movie. Bunch of young youths with nothing but a tune. But we still on that fucking. And the streets done cuff me. I'm counting money, got me feeling so lucky. Still feeling cursed cause I sleep with a duppy. You niggas are sweet and me I'm on my munchies. I mean on my grungy. So come try slum me. I love guns and my gun love me. Strap on my side like a wife and a huggy. Clean shit, nice shit, no kid cuddy. Rubber band money, stack on the 50s. Come try jack me, I brought the strap with me. Ride it with me, nigga. I brought the strap with me. Ride it with me. Sit your little bitch ass down, nigga. You can't spell ball without the AR. Vote me for mayor. Taking helicopters down with a little laser. Hand in Canada, I'm holding bigger than fucking Mecca. Yaga, the liquor, but the shots will make you stagger. For my little brother, it's like he loves my partners. Real bright boy, brought baby, y'all boxes. With this empire, it's nothing like rocks. These are enemy lines, nobody can cross it. I just love it for rappers and in the battle with parts of the triple tits. So clips like a bitch's wig stiction. Murder gang sick shit. Got me reading the words as of my victim lipsticks. Kitchen sick murders. Niggas know I'm running through the streets of beef. Like the hamburger with the burner. No food surfing. Yeah, still M3G reppin'. Man, sitting in the vehicle. Platinum people. Taking your back possession like a reaper. Kneeling with the hammer. Call it Tim Tebow. Holding on the hammer. Call it Olivo. Everything I'm doing is illegal. Everything I'm doing is illegal. Kneeling with the hammer, call it Tim Tebow. Holding on the hammer, call it Home Depot. I'm at the bar ordering a Heineken, waiting for the scene to fall back. I'm timing it, fronting them a double shut up, check me run 9 and 10. MGK wild boy, nigga we some wild men. Pop together life again, rifles like the Irishman. Used to call me Ben Schmidt, but Charlie was a rider man. Nigga try to end me for the money, call a fireman. I put my fucking flamer. Go ahead and try it then. By all means, do you. I'm creeping through the field, shot the Zulu. Cruising in the Subaru. Murder gang, crow, punch dogs and give them bobos. You lose. Tell you what, kind of like 2 shoes. Listen, Junior is easy to hire shooters to whack you. Right now, I'd rather smack you. Don't even attempt, I won't doubt you. Really, I don't have to. Slap the kids so hard, I put a wonder, call him Matthew. Subliminal. Murder gang squad, in effect, I set it up to win no butts. You but to follow my dialect, my number, you ain't die yet. That judge ain't fired. By the end of this chapter, motherfucker buying it. That bitch holds gauges and a couple 45s in it. Catch a couple cases, but I'll beat him if I'm hiding it. In the L spot, nigga, known for the kill shot. Cause I'm the nigga that shot Jack and chill out the hilltop. Real Red Rider Hood was Rider Hood. The song blew her up now. She ain't riding through the hood. And Woody Woodpecker was a fag while Batman got chest and panties up for his pants. Spidey was a swinger. Wolverine is a nigga that's obvious that I ain't got a mission, that's a spinner. While I master cheddar in my mask, my tape will blast for cheddar. Trying to look at is better. Yeah, sitting in the vehicle, plotting on people. Taking your prized possession like a reaper. Kneeling with the hammer, call it Tim Tebow. Holding on the hammer, call it Home Depot. Everything I'm doing is illegal. Everything I'm doing is illegal. Kneeling with the hammer, call it Tim Tebow. Holding on the hammer, call it Home.
Fucking holes in my fucking legs. There was a police car right outside that window. Yeah, Depot's another one of those military words. Watch out for anybody that pronounces it depot. Those guys are on a different level. Where are you going from? I just came from the depot. You in a front store.
Xavier Jordan. For the dough, my nigga, I'ma have to get it in. For the door, I'm about to go and get it in. I do this for my SG, riding cheesy, low-key right behind the scene, hit it behind me, sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky, all my niggas riding with me, I be feeling trippy, blowing in the wind. The shorty wanna talk for the night, pour a talk for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end. For the dough, my nigga. For the dough, my nigga, never want this shit to end. Do this for my SG, riding cheesy, low-key right behind the scene, hit it behind me, sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky, all my niggas riding with me, I be feeling trippy, blowing in the wind. The shorty wanna talk for the night, pour a talk for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end. For the dough, I got style like this. My nigga ain't just stay strapped with the black and practice 6 sex. I work cause my closest niggas they move left. Still mother used to post on the block and protest. Now what's next? I squeeze money in my vision. I bring out big pictures when I'm spitting. Me and them niggas different. You can never be the same niggas since you tryna blame it on niggas that wanna shame. Yo, in the Gucci belt niggas know I'm back and my name is gonna hurt. When I'm 9 grades to the nigga bringing 2 shots to be better if you say you're laying out in for the dough. My niggas ain't don't put it don't. I got a pack of 4 things a nigga tryna stuck that I leave him with a blow. You already know how it goes. Anything goes for the dough. For the dough, my nigga, I'ma have to get it in. For the dough, I'm about to go and get it in. I do this for my SG, riding cheesy, low-key right behind the scene, hit it behind me, sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky, all my niggas riding with me, I be feeling trippy, blowing in the wind. The shorty wanna talk for the night, pour a talk for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end. For the dough, my nigga. For the dough, my nigga, never want this shit to end. Do this for my SG, riding cheesy, low-key right behind the scene, hit it behind me, sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky, all my niggas riding with me, I be feeling trippy, blowing in the wind. The shorty wanna fuck for the night, pour a cup for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end. For the dough, I be taking risks. I make a kiss another take all of my paper quick. Get 20 tight, they can tell me that I ain't the shit. I ain't the fuck for pussy niggas to be playing with. I spray the 50 on my SG, nigga been a body for the last television. I'm seeing damn money is my fetish. My team say you don't fuck nigga, be competitive. I pour the top out and everybody gon' get it. Say the words and my nigga yo
back with your hoe, about to get up inside. I always been a real nigga and I never would hide. I used to work a 9 to 5, but it's better to grind. Getting high off the weed I smoke, I gotta keep the heat close, you know I do my toes. Hell shit, I seen 4 niggas to let it go. I told my nigga Teasy, though, that we can sneak the dough. For the dough, my nigga, I had to get it in. For the dough, I'm about to go and get it in. I do this for my SG, riding cheesy, low key right behind the scene, shit behind me, sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky, all my niggas riding with me, I be feeling trippy, flowing in the bed. Shorty wanna talk for the night, pour a talk for this life. I feel like never want this shit to end. For the dough, my nigga. For the dough, my nigga, never want this shit to end. Do this for my SG, riding cheesy, low key right behind the scene, shit behind me, sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky, all my niggas riding with me, I be feeling trippy, flowing in the bed. Shorty wanna fuck for the night, pour a cup for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end.
I could've talked like this. Free my nigga Ox. Blunt fingers for niggas who speak the clock. Man, I'm back on my bullshit. Never really gave a fuck. I hit 2 G's. And I never shoot a play with gunshots like they met, but they talk like the ladies bunch. Laughing at your team like who the fuck rock the Brady bunch. Shouting low keys, told the beat, but not the latest stuff. Someone got to treat my phone, trying to get your play for fuck. Be like two stone thunder, I got. It's the truth, he ain't the truth, man. He under disguise. I bumped down, but still under disguise. I ain't slept at how long. Can't you see the bags under my eyes? Slack how I ain't living yet. Used to crush a cock a day. Never smoked a cigarette, but now I smoke a cock a day. From the 6th grade, I've been trapping with this game. Get wet, like a nigga that been trapping in the rain. I feel like oh, the nigga trapping in the game. No love, no heart, nigga. All I feel is pain. Nigga that ain't working my work. I know crack, nigga, I'm finna die. Cause the nigga got no luck. When I was ready to ride, the niggas never showed up. Waved in my hand, had the devil on my shoulder. Said I wouldn't stop, and I got shot with a cold gun. For the bitch in the streets, nigga, so hot. Yo, I'm in the streets, nigga, so what? Rob my connect, but never the dope slows up. Yo, I'm in the streets, nigga, so what? Rob my connect, but never the dope slows up.
My nigga, I had to get it in. For the door, I'm about to go and get it in. I do this for my SG, riding cheesy, low key right behind the scene, shit behind me, sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky, all my niggas riding with me, I be feeling trippy, flowing in the bed. Shorty wanna talk for the night, pour a talk for this life. I feel like never want this shit to end. For the dough, my nigga. For the dough, my nigga, never want this shit to end. Do this for my SG, riding cheesy, low key right behind the scene, shit behind me, sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky, all my niggas riding with me, I be feeling trippy, flowing in the bed. Shorty wanna fuck for the night, pour a cup for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end.
Coming up next, your business report, 680 News Time, 11:25.
A message from the War Amps. When you use the War Amps key tags, you protect your keys. If you lose your keys, the finder can call the number on the back of the tag or drop them in any mailbox.
Any mailbox?
And the War Amps will return your keys to you for free. Order your key tags today at waramps.ca and make a difference in the lives of amputees like me. Thank you.
Wednesdays on CBC, it's back-to-back crime dramas based on the novels by Agatha Christie.
Do something like this.
First, ABC Murders.
A copy of the ABC Railway Guide. It is the killer telling us the rules of the game.
Then, a family with killer secrets in Ordeal by Innocence.
If you don't find the killer, the whole family is under suspicion for the rest of their lives.
Don't miss the suspense, starting Wednesday at 8 on CBC.
680 News Time, 11:26. Now the 680 News Business Report. Here's Carl Garnish.
The countdown is on for fans of Walt Disney's Star Wars series, The Mandalorian. Just in time for May the 4th, a.k.a. Star Wars Day, Disney plans to release the first episode of an 8-part docuseries about the making of the Disney Plus show. Episodes are expected to be updated weekly, and it comes as the entertainment giant is set to release second quarter results on Tuesday. At the close on Friday, Disney fell by 2.4% to $105.50. And investors could be set to hit the sell button to begin a new week as U.S. stock futures are lower. Dow futures fell by 1.5% at one point, a loss of 351 points, with S&P and NASDAQ futures also losing more than 1%. Now, Wall Street is coming off another weekly loss, losing at least 0.2% for the week. TSX on Friday was down 1%, a loss of 160 points to 14,620, with a weekly gain of more than 1.3%. A historic Jobs Friday looks to be on the way for Canada and the U.S. With all the job creation since the 2009 Great Recession wiped out stateside, Bloomberg reports that the U.S. could see a plunge of 21 million jobs in April, the most in records dating back to 1939. And the unemployment rate can surge more than 16%, the highest in monthly data dating back to 1948. And here at home, some forecasts believe we could be in for a plunge of 3 million, possibly more. And when it comes to coronavirus treatment, the CEO of Gilead Sciences announced today that it has donated its entire supply of its coronavirus drug to the U.S. government, and it expects it to be in the hands of doctors and patients as early as this week. In electronic trade, we saw oil lose more than 8% as it comes off a weekly gain of more than 16%, while gold rose more than 0.5%, coming off a weekly loss of 2%. The Canadian dollar on Friday fell by 73 cents, closing at 78.98 cents U.S. At the Business Center, I'm Carl Garnett.
Canada's healthcare workers never expected to fight a battle like this. They're working around the clock, isolating from their families, risking their lives on a daily basis. That's why hospital foundation leaders all across the country come together to launch the Frontline Fund, a way for Canadians staying at home to arm our frontline healthcare workers with additional supplies, support, and research funding to fight COVID-19. Support Canada's Frontline by donating now. Frontlinefund.ca.
The safety of those around you is more important than ever. The Government of Canada has stated that the use of a non-medical mask or facial covering can be an additional measure you can take to protect others around you. It's important we keep the supply of medical masks for frontline healthcare workers. CanadaMaskSupply.ca offers personal, non-medical masks and face shields at reasonable prices. Proudly made in Canada for Canadians. Buy non-medical masks and face shields now at CanadaMaskSupply.ca.
We'll get you home with the best local traffic reports on the ones on 680 News.
Taking a look now at your regional weather conditions in Mississauga, 12 degrees, similar conditions and temperatures over in Pickering, Ajax, Oshawa, and Richmond Hill. A little cooler in Orangeville, 10 degrees under a partly cloudy sky. And downtown Toronto right now, 13 degrees and partly cloudy. The News Watch never stops. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. Listen 3, 4, even 5 times a day. And you'll always be in the know. 680 News time, 11:30.
It's Jesus.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good evening. This is Sunday, May the 3rd. I'm
Good
Veronica
evening.
Thorne.
Good
And I'm
morning.
Madison
Good
Fitzpatrick.
afternoon.
Here's what's making
Good
news
day.
this hour. The crawl
Never
towards
say
the new
good night,
normal
'cause that
begins
implies
this week. But businesses are
going to
set to
sleep,
reopen as Ontario slowly restarts the economy.
Still not enough testing. That's what one epidemiologist says is the problem with Ontario's plan to start reopening some businesses as of tomorrow.
Businesses that were pretty much already open, right? I'm
Some
getting
homes in
confused by that.
Midtown this hour. Those details straight ahead. If you are looking to give your green thumb a try with gardening this spring, there are some do's and don'ts for a bountiful harvest.
The NFL schedule gets released next week, and they expect to start as normal in September. Mitch Trubisky not being extended outside of next year in Chicago, and Andy Dalton has a new home. Sports at 45.
Investors are preparing to hear more about first quarter results from Air Canada tomorrow, and more selling could be on the way as U.S. stock futures open lower. Business at 56.
I'm going to kill you right now.
680 News time, 11:31. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Bob Andrews. This report brought to you by Hire the Gardener. Lots of construction on our routes. Eastbound 401, Highway 25, 2 right lanes through Jamestown Parkway, a right lane. Eastbound 401 approaching Morningside in the express. We have a couple of left lanes blocked, and then as you make your way east of Morningside to east of Liverpool, all express lanes are closed for construction. And eastbound 401 through Port Union, the collector to express transfers are closed. Westbound 401 through Morningside, the collectors, a couple left lanes blocked. Nielsen collector to express transfers are closed. Westbound 401 through the Allen and the express, 2 left lanes closed. The northbound Allen ramp to westbound 401 collectors closed. Southbound Dufferin ramp to westbound 401 is closed. Westbound 401 through Dixie, a right lane closed, and then through here Ontario in the express, we do have a right lane closed. Southbound 400 south of Highway 9, construction 2 left lanes. Through Teston, we have 2 left lanes. Southbound 427 through Rathburn in the express, construction in the 2 left lanes. Eastbound QAW through Dixie, a couple left lanes blocked through there with construction. Northbound 427 Dundas Express to collector transfers are closed. And then northbound 427 through Rexdale Dairy, we have a left lane blocked
for construction. In northbound 400, we have construction through Teston in the 2 left lanes, through King Road, the 2 left lanes, and then north of King Road, we have 2 right lanes. Off of our major routes, Jarvis closed in both directions at the Lakeshore, and the southbound Jarvis ramp to the Gardner closed for construction. Yes, you can still hire the gardener to keep your yard green. No, you don't have to come near them. Look at all the things the gardener can do for your yard at hirethegardener.com. That's hirethegardener.com. Your next report at 11:41 with the forecast, Michelle Nelson.
Well, after the short-lived warmth today, we're going to see temperatures continue to fall into the overnight. It's still a great night to get out for a walk. Winds are breezy out of the northwest, but calm conditions. We do have the chance for a few isolated showers through the overnight hours. Your overnight low is 4 degrees.
Downtown Toronto right now, 13 degrees under a partly cloudy sky, and over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions there, and 11. 6 City News Time, 11:33. It's a small step toward getting back to normal. A short list of businesses will start reopening tomorrow as Ontario inches towards restarting the economy and the COVID-19 curve continues to flatten. 6 Cities' Michelle Mackey reports. The public health measures are strict for the businesses and workplaces allowed to reopen this week. The provincial government, in partnership with Ontario's Health and Safety Associations, has developed more than 60 guidelines. The province says these sector-specific measures will help employers prepare their workplaces so they can reopen safely and ensure workers, customers, and the general public are protected. Premier Doug Ford says, quote, "We are allowing certain businesses to reopen under strict guidelines because we are confident they can operate safely and adapt to the current environment."
They fucked this up, nobody's opened up
businesses allowed
nothing.
to reopen includes garden centers and nurseries with curbside pickup and delivery only, lawn care and landscaping, and additional essential construction projects. You can find the full list at 680news.com. I'm Michelle Mackey. Well, garden centers are getting the green light.
These old people stay in their house for the next 3 months and the government talks to them, laugh, and all of a sudden you're running in the street
They can only
dying.
provide pickup and delivery services, which many of them are permitted to do. Gardening expert Mark Cullen told the Toronto Star that not allowing them to open their doors is potentially catastrophic for an industry that's already on its heels due to the lockdown. Between March 13th and April 10th, flower growers estimate they lost $52.5 million in sales. Most flower growers do upwards of 60% of their sales between Easter and Mother's Day, which is this coming Sunday. 6 City News Time, 11:35. As the province gets ready to open, one epidemiologist is urging caution. 6 City's Stuart McGinn reports.
The numbers may be growing with more than 17,000 tests being completed as of yesterday, but Ontario is still not where they said they would be by now. Calling out the province on this, an epidemiologist at the University of Ottawa tells the Toronto Star, with only 2% of the province's population having been tested so far, this doesn't line up with the Ford government's plan to do this all safely. Nonetheless, we're hours away from the first, albeit small, list of mostly seasonal businesses opening their doors again.
We have to give people confidence in Ontario that the economy is going to move forward the same way it was before the pandemic hit us.
Over the last few days, we've heard Premier Doug Ford honing in on that hope many of us have for this ending soon, and the numbers continue to support that. 434 new cases were confirmed today compared to 650 recoveries, which now make up more than 68% of Ontario's cases. But still, the latest numbers also show 40 people died from COVID-19 yesterday. I'm Stuart McGinn.
The Prime Minister seems to be throwing some water on some unsubstantiated reports that COVID-19 came from a lab in Wuhan, China. It's a theory that China obviously denies, but Americans reportedly claim global intelligence partners agree with. Karen Siolan of City News says Prime Minister Justin Trudeau won't say whether the government supports this intelligence assessment.
Asked directly about this on Sunday, Trudeau said Canada continues to work with Five Eyes Nations, an intelligence alliance between our country, the US, the UK, Australia, and New Zealand.
We will continue to work with intelligence agencies around the world, not just the Five Eyes, but friends and partners as well.
Hey, shut up! Five Eyes only.
Look to find answers to the many questions people are asking.
But Trudeau stresses
it is still too early to draw firm conclusions.
U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo insisting on Sunday the coronavirus escaped the Wuhan lab, but didn't provide any proof.
There's enormous evidence that that's where this began. These are not the first times that we've had a world exposed to viruses as a result of failures in a Chinese lab.
Prime Minister Trudeau, however, remains steadfast.
Our focus remains on how we are working to protect Canadians.
For City News, I'm Karen
And
Seolman.
not tell them anything you're doing.
11:37. Happening now in Midtown. Power outage has left some homes in the dark. Affected places include 1107 Avenue Road, 1010 Eglinton Avenue East, 245 Eglinton Avenue East, and 11 and 98 Williams and 98 Dunfield. The crews are on site doing repairs, and the estimated time for restoration is around 1 a.m.
The World Health Organization is cautioning against proposals for immunity passports for those who have recovered from COVID-19. It would allow them the freedom to play, work, and travel, while the WHO tells the Toronto Star that such people would develop an antibody response, giving them some level of protection. They don't know what level of protection or how long it would last. In order to better understand that, we need to improve antibody testing, which gives a more accurate mortality rate and a better idea of how close we might be to the holy grail of herd immunity. As a result, antibody tests could help determine how quickly to loosen physical contact restrictions and get back to normal. They could also determine how long immunity might last and the effectiveness of proposed immunity documents.
6 City News time, 11:38. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced more than $240 million in funding to boost online healthcare. The federal investment will expand existing online tools for primary care and mental health.
Just take video conferencing. By helping doctors run appointments online, you can stay safe at home while getting care, and our hospitals can stay focused on those who need it most.
The funding will also include virtual care for times when you don't need to see a doctor in person. Over $175 million is also expended from the government to support Canadian company Albursera for their, quote, very promising research. Trudeau also says human trials can be as soon as July. Sunnybrook Health Sciences Center developing an alternative to N95 masks. As 680's Phil Martino tells us, it's a modified full-face snorkel mask.
Dr. Brian Courtney, a cardiologist at Sunnybrook, says the snorkel mask part is off the shelf and it is actually used for snorkeling. What they've done is build an adapter for it that allows them to plug in a disposable respiratory filter.
And then you get the benefits of a mask that lets you see really well and lets you breathe comfortably, but you get the ability to know that you're breathing air as a practitioner in a potentially dangerous situation that is being filtered to the same level as an N95 mask.
The hospital is also testing Tyvek surgical masks. Once testing is complete, they will be able to produce both the N95 alternative and the surgical masks in-house. I'm Phil Martino.
We're Toronto's only weather radio station with a weather guarantee, and when we blow it, that can mean money in your pocket. We'll be giving away money twice this week. On Monday, you could win $22,800. So listen after traffic and weather at 7:21 Monday to hear if your name is called. And we miss the weather guarantee again on Saturday when we only got up to 15 degrees at Pearson Airport, but our guaranteed high was 19. That means on Tuesday, we will be giving away $1,300. Listen Tuesday morning at 7:21 because we could be announcing your name as the winner. To enter to win, go to 680news.com/contest.
Always be the first to know.
You said you don't know where the money guy is.
680 News.
Now I don't feel like
The
you're
680
going
News
to try
gas
to
price update, and Pro says the price is not expected to change at midnight. It'll hold at 85.9 cents a liter at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather together next.
How much money would you like to save just by doing something you're already doing? 15 or 25%? How about 30%? With Allstate, safe drivers can save 30% just by doing something they're already doing. Driving safe. That's right, 30% just by driving safe. Visit allstate.ca or call a local agent for a quote today and see just how much you can save when you drive safe with Allstate.
Search Save 30% with Allstate for more information. Terms and conditions apply. 680 News time, 11:41.
It's time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Barb Andrews.
This report is brought to you by Lowe's, eastbound 401 through Highway 25. Construction there cleared, but we still have more to deal with. Eastbound 401 through Jamestown Parkway, right lane closed. Approaching Morningside in the express, 2 left lanes, and then east of Morningside to east of Liverpool, all eastbound 401 express lanes are closed. Westbound 401 through Morningside in the collectors, 2 left lanes. Through Nielsen, collectors to express transfers are closed. Westbound 401 401 through the Allen in the Express, 2 left lanes. The northbound Allen ramp to westbound 401 is closed. Southbound Dufferin ramp to westbound 401 also closed. Westbound 401 through Dixie, we have a right lane closed. And then westbound 401 through here, Ontario. In the Express, we have a right lane closed. And then in the collectors, we have 2 right lanes closed for construction. Southbound 400 south of Highway 9, we have 2 left lanes closed for construction. And then again through Tustin, another couple of left lanes. Southbound 427 through Rathburn in the Express, 2 left lanes closed. Eastbound QEW through Dixie, we have construction in the 2 left lanes. Northbound 427 Dundas Express 2 collector transfers, they are closed. And then northbound 427 Rexdale Dairy, we have a left lane blocked with construction. And northbound 400 construction Tustin, we have 2 left lanes. Through King Road, 2 left lanes. And then north of King Road, we have 2 right lanes. To help you stay safe and at home, Lowe's is offering free parcel shipping and curbside pickup with online purchases at Lowe's.ca. Your next report at 11:51 with the forecast, Michelle Nelson.
Great conditions tonight to get out for a walk. We are going to see partly cloudy skies and temperatures slowly falling. Northwesterly winds gusting to 40 kilometers per hour, so still pretty breezy out there. But unfortunately, the warmth that we've seen today isn't going to stick around. Dropping below seasonal for this week. Tonight, your low will be 4. It's going to be a chilly morning in the GTA with some cloud cover and then sunshine into the afternoon. We're looking at a daytime high of only 11 degrees. Your overnight low is 4.
Downtown Toronto right now, 13 degrees, a partly cloudy sky. And over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions and 11. 680 News Time, 11:43.
Attention homeowners. Savers Mortgage is offering deferred or prepaid payments on new first, second, and third mortgages based solely on sufficient home equity, despite income or credit to help in these difficult times. Apply in just 3 minutes at savers.ca. That's S-A-V like Victor, E-R-S.ca.
Savers Mortgage, 493-1983. The problem solvers.
Apply anytime at savers.ca or call 416-493-1983. License 10587.
Hi, I'm Sherry Tabb, co-founder of the Herzig Eye Institute. Our eyes play such an important role in the spread and prevention of COVID-19. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Wash your hands often and be vigilant about cleaning door handles and other surfaces that are touched frequently. If you wear contact lenses, consider wearing your glasses. Your health is what matters most to us. Google high definition vision and sign up for my blog so we can stay connected. Look after yourself. Promise me.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
It's 13 degrees and partly cloudy in downtown Toronto. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Veronica Thor. And I'm Madison Fitzpatrick. Here are the top stories this hour. Tomorrow, a short list of businesses will be allowed to reopen across the province, but it comes with some strict rules. More than 60 public health guidelines have been developed to make sure the workplaces stay in line with physical distancing measures. A power outage affecting some homes in the Yonge and Eglinton area. Crews have been dispatched to make repairs. Toronto Hydro says the estimated time for restoration is around 1 in the morning. And because we missed the weather guarantee twice in the past week, our mistake is your gain. We'll be giving away a whopping $22,800 on Monday and another $1,300 on Tuesday. Make sure you're listening to the morning show each of those days at 7:21 a.m. after traffic and weather. You can still sign up, but do it quickly, 680news.com/contests. 680 News Time, 11:45. Now 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here's Colin Teskey.
Former Bengals quarterback Andy Dalton now joins the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas signing Dalton to a 1-year, $7 million deal, and $3 million of that deal is guaranteed. While the Chicago Bears will not pick up the 5th-year option for quarterback Mitch Trubisky, the number 2 overall pick, will likely test free agency after season's end and is set to battle with Nick Foles for the starting role in Chicago after Foles came over in an off-season trade from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meantime, the NFL plans to start on schedule in September and run the full 17-week sched, and that will be announced next week, and there could be contingency plans in place in case they do encounter any roadblocks. And NHL teams continue to prepare for a possible season at a later date, and the NHL draft lottery is going to be altered due to the regular season getting canceled due to COVID. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 news time, 11:47.
Being right matters.
So if our weather forecast is off by more than 3 degrees,
You could win cash.
details at 680news.com.
You might look at a cannabis edible and think, oh, how cute. That one's shaped like a gummy bear. But with an unpredictable high and delayed effects, it's not as innocent as it looks. Much like a puppy with a samurai sword. Or the doll that came to life in that horror movie. Come to think of it, pretty much any doll makes me a little anxious. Those eyes, watching. Oh boy, I think it's kicking in. Learn how to talk with your kids about cannabis edibles at drugfreekidscanada.org. God, my hands are enormous. How do these get through my sleeves?
Introducing Irwin's new Command Lock Tape Measures, built for extra control with a finger break, up to 14-foot reach, and a high-contrast DuPont Mylar film-coated white blade. Plus, it comes in a high-impact resistant case. When every quarter-inch matters, these tapes are designed with your job in mind. New Irwin Command Lock Tapes, built for the trades. Available only at Canadian Tire stores across Canada. Find out more at irwintools.ca.
Despite being one of the hardest hit countries in the COVID-19 pandemic, Italy is set to begin lifting its 2-month nationwide lockdown, and a new app will be a part of it.
On Monday, Italy will take its first step towards relaunching with some 5 million construction and manufacturing workers back on the job. Soon after, an app to help trace those who have been in close contact with infected people will be introduced based on a Bluetooth system with no location data recorded or exchanged. Italian MP Lia Quattrapelle says the app must have parliamentary approval and keep personal data safe. The biggest challenge is getting at least 60% of Italians, many of whom are older and not tech savvy, to use it so that it's effective. Megan Williams, ABC News, Rome.
680 news time, 11:49. While safely physically distancing inside their cars, activists in British Columbia gathered outside the Mission Institution this afternoon, honking their horns and waving signs. As 680's Bethlehem Miriam reports, they're trying to shed light on the condition of the prisoners at the center of one of Canada's biggest COVID-19 outbreaks.
Activists held up signs that read, "Prisoners are people," as they rallied outside Mission Institution. It's the site of the largest prison outbreak in the country. One inmate has died and over 130 have tested positive for COVID-19. Meenakshi Mano of the Vancouver Prison Justice State Committee says, "A prison is no place for anyone during a pandemic."
Failure, essentially, of both the federal government and the Correctional Services of Canada to adequately respond to a public health emergency.
The group is calling for better care and the release of prisoners during the pandemic. I'm Bethlehem Miriam.
If you're looking to give your green thumb a try with some gardening this spring, there are some do's and don'ts for a bountiful harvest.
680's garden expert Mark Collins says if you are looking to grow vegetables, tomatoes and radishes are easy and perfect for new gardeners. He also says location is key.
The soil is good quality and that the plant is matched to its appropriate sun exposure. Sun-loving plants to sun, shade-loving plants to shade.
And sometimes ignoring your plants is the best thing for them.
The number one mistake that first-time gardeners make is they overwater. I would say 9 out of 10 gardening problems revolve around giving plants too much TLC, not too little.
He says if you are container gardening, make sure you have a large enough container. I'm Irene Precklett.
680 news time, 11:51. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones with Toronto's most frequent traffic reports. Here's Barb Andrews.
This report brought to you by 407 ETR. If you're traveling along the eastbound 401, we've got construction through Jamestown Parkway in a right lane, then approaching Morningside in the express 2 left lanes, then east of Morningside to east of Liverpool, all express lanes are closed. Westbound 401 through Morningside in the collectors 2 left lanes. Westbound 401 Nielsen collector to express transfers are closed. Westbound 401 through the Allen Express, 2 left lanes are closed. The ramp from northbound Allen to the westbound 401 collectors closed. Also southbound Dufferin ramp to westbound 401 closed. And then westbound 401 through Dixie, a right lane closed. Through here, Ontario in the Express, we have a right lane. And through here, Ontario in the collectors, 2 right lanes with construction. Southbound 400 south of Highway 9, we have a couple of left lanes blocked with construction through Teston, 2 left lanes. Southbound 427 through Rathburn in the Express, couple left lanes blocked through there. Northbound 427 through Dundas, the Express to collector transfers are closed. We also have northbound 427 through Derry, a left lane. And just seeing this now, northbound 427 through Finch, it looks like some emergency road work affecting all northbound 427 lanes at Finch. If you are traveling northbound 400, we've got construction through Teston, 2 left lanes, through King Road, 2 left lanes, and then north of King Road, we have 2 right lanes, and Jarvis remains closed at the Lakeshore. Also southbound Jarvis ramp to the Gardner closed for construction. 407 ETR is helping communities and hospitals with a $5.2 million donation to United Way and GTHA hospitals. Learn more at 407etr.com. Your next report at 12:01 with the forecast, Michelle Nelson.
Well, after feeling the warmth today and seeing that beautiful sunshine, temperatures are going to take a dip into the week ahead. Tonight, partly cloudy with some cool northwesterly winds. Still a great night to get out for a walk, but we will drop overnight to 4 degrees. We have the chance of some spotty showers, and it's going to be a cloudy and cool morning. Starting off at 4, but then we'll warm up to about 11 degrees. That is below seasonal. Seasonal for this time of year is 17, and we'll see cooler temperatures for the week ahead, even as we head towards Mother's Day weekend. The good news is we do have some sunshine on the way, and it's mostly going to be dry. Your overnight low is 4 degrees.
Right now in downtown Toronto, partly cloudy and 13 degrees, and similar conditions at Pearson Airport and 12 degrees. Coming up at the top of the hour with Eden DeBeba and Carling Donahue, the latest on the short list of businesses that are allowed to reopen their doors tomorrow, with more than 60 guidelines being developed by the province and health officials. We'll bring you the very latest at midnight. 680 News Time, 11:54.
Oh, is it really that close?
Now, 680 News regional weather conditions for Walmart.
With Walmart's guaranteed unbeatable low prices, Gala apples are only 97 cents a pound. That's right, Gala apples are only 97 cents a pound. Walmart, save money, live better.
We're proud to serve all of our communities across Canada. And we're thinking about you. That's why we've made some changes recently. So for a limited time, we're offering you free delivery from Uber Eats and Skip the Dishes. Tim Hortons, proudly serving our communities.
We work for you.
From talking to the newsmakers
To getting the answers
You're not
to
paying
what
no
you need to
benefits,
know
no
about
employment
COVID-19.
and answers about your job and finance.
Don't put it down in the eyes of any pregnant guys that I'm thinking dope, but I'm getting pussy, pushing niggas in the center rising. I've been about it, I've been your body. I need like that Bugatti, you got the kind of dick I'm putting right through your mommy. Moving shooters by me, I'm suited to new Versace and CRP. I call it my click on my crew. I like it. You figure the niggas slipping, I'm gripping, using the shot. I'm ready to make my money, you niggas do it for hobby. You sure you wanna ride? Before they got me body, I ain't stopping till I'm in the Benz, ballin' in the Audi. Bitches call a nigga poppy, I go all in for the profit. You need it, I can get it. If you want it, then I got it. Got it dirty, bitch, and make a nigga harder than a rocket. I'm saying the bitch, I'm feeling like I'm harder with the bracket. I don't give a fuck like a bitch, gotta be making my dough. I'm picking the middle, so get on my level, my niggas are getting dope. So my nigga, I'ma have to get it in. For the door, I'm about to go and get it in. I do this for my SG, riding cheesy, Loki right behind the scene. Get it behind me, sipping on the gin. Them humps stay down when it's sticky. All my niggas riding with me, I be feeling trippy, flowing in the wind. Shorty wanna fuck for the night, for a fuck for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end. Don't mind, nigga. For the don't mind, nigga. Never want this shit to end. Do this for my SG, riding GZ Loki right behind the scene. Get it behind me, sipping on the gin. Them humps stay down when it's sticky. All my niggas riding with me, I be feeling trippy, flowing in the wind. Shorty wanna fuck for the night, pour a cup for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end. For the don't, don't.
Yeah, the Timberlake, Dreamcast, what up? Nah, we got 2009. We gonna make it, yeah. They ain't stopping us, eh? Nah, they ain't stopping us, nah. Check it. no Dreamcast. Let them know. I was born to grow up abandoned and poor. Take medications that make me tired and also sore. I never asked for this, it just kinda came. Now I'm trying to make money, I'm after the fame. Parents blame me for everything that went bad. My dad was an alcoholic, he drank till he passed. I lived in constant doubt, I always had to shout to get my point across. I lived in about 100 different group homes. Never had the same bed for a month. I felt alone. They kept on changing my meds. They kept on changing my mood. My parents kicked me out when I was 12. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. That's how I was raised. Went through all elementary school getting hazed. I met this girl. My friendship went terribly wrong. But that's just another reason for emotion in this song. Life is what you make it, through the thick and the thin. Been lost in the struggle, still I'm striving to win. Sin in my soul boils these decisions down. King of depression held down by a glittering crown. After Pops died, Mama had a heap on her back. Now I'm trying to make fat stacks off of these tracks. Trying to be the best in all these things that I do. Say fuck the world, I go with the infinite truth. Trite times, night crimes make me want to give in. No surrendering from all these places I've been. This is for my bad health and the things I create. This is for my Lord and all of the things that I state. Every moment above ground is a gift from above. Through the pains in the field, towards hate and the love. Gotta keep trucking even if I might break shit. And all the people keep telling me you're gonna make it.
Because you're too sick. What's up, bro? So you said I could
for legal fees because there are none. At my law firm, we only get paid when you get paid. And before you call, you should always remember that there are no bad questions. 416-661-4878 or on your cell phone at Pound LTD.
Right now downtown, 13 degrees and partly cloudy. Tim Chapman was our evening show editor. Tiwana Turner joined us at the digital desk. Amber LeBlanc is our news director. On behalf of my co-anchor, Madison Fitzpatrick, thanks for listening and have a great day. 680 News Time, midnight.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Good morning. This is Monday, May the 4th. I'm Eden Zveta.
And I'm Carly Donahue. Here's what's making news right now. The crawl towards a new normal begins this week. But businesses are set to reopen as Ontario slowly restarts the economy.
IBM is teaming up with the City of Markham to provide an online resource on COVID-19.
The federal government investing millions to bring healthcare online.
And later this morning, someone will be waking up a few $1,000s richer. We'll tell you why coming up.
Get ready for football. The NFL
found the money
plans
guy?
to start on time in September.
I'm wanting you to press
Andy
that
Dalton
fucking
has
story.
a new team.
Where was
Well, Mitch Trubisky was not picked up on his option in Chicago. Sports at 15.
Walt Disney is preparing to release new content from a galaxy far, far away tomorrow, and we could see some selling on the markets as U.S. stock futures open lower. Business at 26.
680 News Time, 12:01.
It's time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Good morning, Michael Ranger.
Good morning, Eden. Good morning, Carling. This report is brought to you by 407 ETR.
It's 1 minute after midnight. Good morning.
Northbound 427 cruise
Good
getting ready
morning.
to
There was
close
no
the
night.
highway
There was
at
an
Finch.
evening.
So if you are traveling northbound
That
427,
15 minutes ago was
be
good
forced off
evening.
there.
Now
Not
it's
sure if
good
they
morning.
put that into effect
There's
yet.
no
Just got the
night, no
notification.
sleep.
So again, northbound 427, they will be closing it at Finch Avenue for overnight construction. Eastbound 401, express lanes closed from from east of Morningside to east of Liverpool. That's where the express merges with the collectors in Pickering. You can still use the collectors through this stretch. They're open and moving fine. Southbound Port Union Ramp to the East 401, that is also shut down. Northbound Allen Ramp onto the highway is closed. The westbound 401, northbound Dufferin Ramp, that's shut down as well. No access to the West 401 from Dixie. And if you're traveling northbound on the 400, some construction going on there. Everything is up to speed. At Teston, 2 left lanes gone. Again, at King Road, crews are working in the 2 left lanes, but again, everything remains up to speed. Westbound Fitch Avenue ramp to the southbound 400, that is shut down for road work. And we've got that weekend construction going on at Jarvis. It's closed in both directions at Lakeshore. No access to the Gardner from southbound Jarvis. You can still access the Gardner Expressway from northbound Jarvis. Next traffic report is at 12:11 with your forecast. Here's Malia Sheikh.
A daytime high of 10 degrees on your Monday, barely in the double digits. Thursday's not on time this time of the year. Is 16, so it's cooler than that. Partly cloudy conditions as well, and also windy in the afternoon. Winds gusting up to 40 kilometers an hour, a low of 0. Your high for today, 10 degrees.
It's 13 degrees right now in downtown Toronto with a partly cloudy sky, and over at Toronto Pearson, 11 degrees and partly cloudy as well. 680 News Time, 12:03.
Rise 10, but sorry, 13.
Towards getting back to normal. A short list of businesses will start reopening across the province today.
It isn't going to be a full return to normalcy, though. 680's Michelle Mackey joins us with more on the new guidelines Ontario businesses will need to follow.
The provincial government, in partnership with Ontario's Health and Safety Associations, has developed more than 60 public health guidelines for the businesses and workplaces allowed to reopen this weekend. Jonathan Allward with the Canadian Federation of Independent Business says as a result, some workplaces are having to adjust.
Some that I've talked to already are looking at new options, possibly extended hours or maybe more flexible hours than what they would have before to make sure that they can get a large number of people in while still respecting those social distancing practices.
The list of businesses allowed to reopen includes garden centers and nurseries with curbside pickup and delivery only, lawn care and landscaping, and additional essential construction projects. I'm Michelle Mackey.
People in some provinces will also be enjoying more freedom than others today as restrictions related to COVID-19 continue to be loosened. Manitoba is allowing many non-essential businesses, restaurant patios, museums, playgrounds, and other facilities to reopen. Jonathan Elwer with the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses says there are concerns some workers might not be coming back right away. He says workers might not have childcare lined up on short notice, and some may have medical conditions and be afraid of catching COVID-19.
Every other goddamn buggy fucking people
that are staying home, and employers that are going to be having staff shortages because of that.
The Saskatchewan government is allowing dentists, optometrists, and other medical professionals to restart, and is also opening fishing shoreline areas and boat launches. Quebec is letting retail stores outside the Montreal area reopen today as well. There are 59,474 confirmed and presumptive cases in Canada.
680 News Time, 12:05. Global coronavirus cases have now surpassed 3.5 million, with deaths nearing 250,000. According to a Reuters tally, there was just over 84,000 new cases of COVID-19 over the past 24 hours. North America and European countries accounted for most of the new cases reported in recent days, but numbers are still rising from smaller bases in Latin America, Africa, and Russia. Deaths related to COVID-19, the disease caused by this new virus, stood at 245,992. The daily rate of new cases worldwide has been sitting in a 2 to 3% range over the past week versus a peak of around 13% mid-March. That news prompting many countries to begin easing lockdown measures.
You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. The City of Markham and IBM are using artificial intelligence to provide people with online and telephone access to a virtual agent. That person can answer questions about COVID-19. Using the artificial intelligence-driven virtual agent, IBM wants an assistant for citizens. People can obtain information about the virus at any time of the day or night. IBM is offering its Watson assistance for citizens to governments, hospitals, and universities via the IBM Public Cloud, free of charge for 90 days. Government agencies and organizations in the U.S., the Czech Republic, Greece, Poland, Spain, and the U.K. are also using the same technology to help residents find information.
This is All News Radio 680 News. While garden centers are getting the green light
They
from
were all
the premier tomorrow,
today,
many operators are happy with the
none
government.
whatsoever.
They can only provide pickup and delivery services, which many of them are permitted to do. Mark Cullen, a gardening expert with Landscape Ontario, tells the Toronto Star that not allowing them to open their doors is potentially catastrophic for an industry that's already on its heels due to the lockdown. Between March 13th and April 10th, flower growers estimate they lost $52.5 million in sales.
This is 680 News at 12:07. The federal government is investing millions to bring healthcare online. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau saying that he understands the stress caused by orders to stay inside and the shutdown of businesses across the country. Karen Seolin of City News reports.
If we can use apps to order dinner and video chats to stay in touch with family, we can use new technology to keep each other healthy.
Oh my God! Thank you, Justin.
$million
Thank
for
you.
virtual healthcare services, including primary care for patients who don't need to visit a doctor's office, and mental health. One survey recently released by Mental Health Research Canada found the number of Canadians expressing high to extreme levels of anxiety has quadrupled since the start of the COVID-19 crisis.
They would have had computers in
And
his
if you're part
class.
of a marginalized community and you need
computer?
specialized tools, well, there'll be specific help for you as well.
As part of Sunday's announcements, the government
Give me
also unveiled
specific
the
help.
creation of
I end
a
up almost
COVID-19
dead.
Supply Council.
Almost.
It will focus on keeping Canada stocked with critical medical supplies and protective equipment throughout the pandemic. For City News, I'm Karen Seolin.
680 News Time, 12:08. Police have identified the city's 25th homicide victim of 2020 as 23-year-old Daniel Boma. He was shot and killed Saturday night in Scarborough's Wexford neighborhood. At around 10:45 p.m., police responded to a shooting call in the Tower Drive and Bryan Avenue area. Upon arriving, they found a man with a gunshot wound in the front of a house. Emergency crews transported the man to hospital, where he did later die. Police say that a suspect vehicle was seen fleeing the area following the shooting, but no other suspect information has yet been released.
Oh, that's a suspect vehicle. This one, we don't even know if there's a driver. The last one, at least, there was a driver. There's another guy with pants and shirt. That's helpful. This one, it's a car.
Up to $22,800.
And that's it. It could have been one of these autonomous cars. Could have been anything.
To hear if your name is called. We also missed the weather guarantee again on Saturday when we only got up to 15 degrees at Pearson Airport, but our guaranteed high was 19. And that means Tuesday we'll be giving away another $1,300. To enter, simply go online to 680news.com/contest.
No. You're going to sell my information to yourself or some shit.
Yesterday's mild temperatures had officials reminding residents that nice weather doesn't mean you should stop protecting yourself and others from this virus. 680's Lucas Castelletto reports.
The city says any two people who don't live together, who fail to keep 2 meters of distance between them in a park or public square, can receive a maximum fine of $1,000. Peel Police Constable Denny Martini tells us residents have the right to enjoy the outdoors, but staying as far apart as possible is key.
Staying at 6 feet apart from other people, if they can, switch sidewalks or, go a wider route, wear masks if they have one and they feel more comfortable wearing one. We don't want people gathering together. That's not the point of this. We're not at that point. So we really want to remember that if they're going, to make those good choices.
Officers say they will be patrolling hot spots such as Howard Park, Bluffers Park, Christie Pitts, and Trinity Bellwoods. I'm Lucas Castelletto.
Don't eat raw bat meat. Always cook your bat meat.
It's now time for the 680 News gas price update. Empro says the price of gas did not change at midnight. It's holding at 85.9 cents a liter at most GTA stations.
75.9 over
weather
here.
together next. 680 News time, 12:10.
You told us before they don't change it up. We told us only once in fucking years. They don't change it on Mondays.
Celebrating all moms this Mother's Day. Any gift ideas for the lady who was in labor with me for 2 days?
Down every day to see what days.
That's her gift, but it's some hard labor for her.
How so?
Cut her grass with a Toro 2339 self-propelled lawnmower. This Toro has a 3-in-1 mowing system, and it comes with a smart stove feature for compact storage.
And I hear the price is nice.
Just $4.79. Buy online or pick it up gas stuff.
Mow for mom with a Toro from Coy Brothers.
KOOYBROS.com.
680 News time, 12:11. It's time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Michael Ranger.
Well, just looking at some construction as we start the morning here. No delays on any of the major routes. Eastbound 401.
Shut up and go to the weather.
From east of Morningside to east of Liverpool, where the
Nothing to tell you.
the express lanes are closed. So as you get east of Morningside, you will be forced into the collectors. But the collectors are moving fine through this entire stretch, so not really a big impact on your drive. Westbound 401, so closures there at Nielsen. The collector to express transfer is closed. Northbound Allen, northbound Dufferin ramps to the highway are shut down. No access to the westbound 401 from Dixie Road. Southbound 400, one ramp closure there. Westbound Finch ramp onto the highway is shut down. Still looking at this road work at Jarvis, weekend construction. Jarvis closed in both directions at Lakeshore. The southbound Jarvis ramp to the Gardner is shut down because of that construction. You're still able to access the Gardner Expressway using the northbound Jarvis ramp. Northbound 427, they have closed the highway at Finch Avenue, so traffic being forced off at Finch. This is for emergency road work. No, not sure yet how long it's going to last. It should just be temporary though. But again, northbound 427, you will be forced off the highway at Finch Avenue. All your other major routes up to speed. Again, if you're driving in or out of the downtown core, no issues on the DVP. Gardner is up to speed in both directions, eastbound and westbound. Next report is at 12:21 with your forecast. Here's Malia Sheikh.
Okay, so we got an average of 4 shutdowns per traffic.
Daytime high of just 10 degrees.
They don't use that word every time.
High at 16. Also windy in the afternoon. Winds gusting up to 40 kilometers an hour. A low of 0. Tuesday, a mix of sun and cloud with a daytime high of 10 and low of 3. Your high for today, 10 degrees.
Right now in downtown Toronto, partly cloudy, 13 degrees, and at Pearson Airport, a few clouds and elevated. 6 airlines are announcing new safety requirements for passengers in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Delta, United, and JetBlue will all require the wearing of face masks in flight. ABC Stephanie Ramos says travelers will see changes to the pre-boarding process as well.
To see plexiglass at document checkpoints before going through security, some airlines will actually supply travelers with masks, and cleaning crews will be a lot more visible.
Well, the mask costs $3, and the ticket's like what, $1,000 or more?
Seats as well. This is All News Radio 680
It would make more sense than the good Jeep, so they know everybody had a problem with it.
By the end
No,
of
no,
April,
we're gonna be
bylaw
cheap on
officers
that
have
one thing.
conducted
That one thing we're insisting on, we're gonna
4,584
be cheap.
inspections, issuing
Some airlines
195
will
warnings
do
and laid 30 more charges and fines than the previous 7 days. The first fine issued under the city's COVID-19 bylaw was for a house party involving 20 people on the very first day that the legislation was enacted, and there have been several more prohibited social gatherings, resulting in fines since then. Some infractions have led to court summons, and a judge can issue a fine of up to $100,000 for violating laws enacted under the Ontario Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act.
Oh, they need money, so they will find you
COVID-19
money.
vaccine
Find
efforts
a way to get you
worldwide.
money.
680 News Time, 12:14.
Improve the way you work.
Oh, it's totally different. This isn't normal government.
Visions Electronics
Really,
can improve
this
your
is just
lifestyle at home
fucking
with all the
emergency.
made at the best prices
They're
in
gonna get it
Canada.
from you somehow.
TVs to cell phones, laptops to appliances, headphones to home audio, and everything in between. With up to 12 months, no interest and no payments. All of our locations are here to serve you, including online or curbside pickup solutions. Improve your lifestyle with essential tech for less. Only at Visions Electronics.
At Intact Insurance, we're committed to helping people when they need us the most. And today's no different. That's why we're providing payment flexibility and auto insurance premium adjustments in response to this current crisis. So far, these efforts have helped over 250,000 Canadians and businesses. If you're experiencing financial hardship, or if your driving habits have changed, we can help. To learn more about our relief measures, visit intact.ca or contact your broker.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Partly cloudy and 13 degrees in downtown Toronto. Good morning. From 680 News
Good morning.
Broadcast Center, I'm Eden Tabella.
There was no night. There was an evening. There was a morning.
Businesses will be
Damn, what you
public
guys
health
slept for
measures
like?
as the
You guys
province
just
begins to roll
sleep
back
every for like
COVID-19
10-minute
restrictions
segments,
today.
right?
And we're not the only ones looking to reopen.
Just
Quebec,
take turns
Saskatchewan,
sleeping
and
for
Alberta
like
will
8
also
minutes.
begin lifting their
Tap
restrictions
each other
today
awake,
as well.
right? Like a bunch of
Weather
Russian
is our
soldiers.
specialty here at 680 News, but sometimes even we don't get it right. At 7:21 this morning, after traffic and
You
weather,
sound
we'll
really
be
bad
giving away
about that.
$2,800. 680 News Time, 12:15. Now, 680 Sports from Sportsnet on 90 The Fan. Here's Colin Teskey.
Aside from the NFL draft being virtual, it went off as scheduled, and now the league plans on starting in September without any delays. Contingency plans will be in place in case the league faces any last-minute barriers, but the schedule for the 2020-2021 NFL campaign will be released next week. Dak Prescott still does not have a contract for the Dallas Cowboys. However, owner and GM Jerry Jones wasting no time signing another quarterback. The Cowboys have signed former Bengals QB Andy Dalton to a one-year, $7 million deal. And the Bears trade for Nick Foles in the offseason, coming over from Jacksonville. And Foles will now battle former number 2 overall pick Mitch Trubisky for the starting job